Hello, mic check. We're live.
We're live.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Bearded Brown Podcast.
Wow, I look good.
We are live
I didn't realize how good I look.
at the IX Center. Angel did not realize how good he looked today.
I'm a
Sam
good
is
looking man.
I'm looking very orange today. Very orange.
Oh yeah,
All
we're
right.
live here. We did it. We're at this show. We returned today, right?
Yeah, we
Absolutely.
hit the pinnacle of our career of podcasting. We're going to retire. We are live at the IX Center, ladies and gentlemen. If you are here and you're streaming at the same time while looking at these beautiful cars, stop by our booth, get a red line sticker, get a Bearded Brown sticker. What do you call those cards? Business cards. And stream us live, man. We are live. This is exciting. A lot
Absolutely.
of cool cars around here.
Good atmosphere today. A lot of nice hot rods out here. I have been to the show quite a few times. It never disappoints, man. If you're into muscle cars, anything that runs with a piston power, it is here. It's the place to come check it out. This is the last day here also. Come check them out. A lot of cool cars. Bearded Browns, talk some Browns football, and check out hot rods. I can't see a better Sunday spent, man.
Right. Other than here with us,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bearded Browns.
You have a nice radio voice, Sam.
He does, doesn't he?
Let me get a little deeper. Thank you, Angel. Thank
We
you.
sound legit when Sam is on the mic. Me and Mike, I sound like a high-pitched teenager.
Yes. Same. I sound like, yeah. So we got a lot to talk about today, guys. We got 3 hours. We'll be live from 11 till 2 today, talking Browns. We got a couple guys that are going to be joining us on the show as well that you might know from the Red Line Network. We got Adam and Shane. And it's going to be one hell of a show again.
Absolutely,
We got
man.
people walking up to us. We're going to hand the kids out some stickers. Bring your kids over. We got some stickers for them. It's going to be a great day. But let's get right to it, guys. We got Kirk Cousins showing up at the Chipotle in Westlake.
Dun, dun, dun.
Saying he's going to buy a house.
Someone's going to buy a house. Yeah, a lot of people think he's going to buy a house.
He must have listened to Jameis about that 90 days of nice weather and wanted to get
Yeah,
a house just
he's
for those 90 days.
Let me hit up the 90 days before it starts to get bad, right?
Oh, look at this. We got a crowd around us.
I don't think they're around us. There's
Yeah,
something going on
I'm trying
next
to make
to
it
us.
sound good.
Yeah,
Andrew.
but yeah, it's true.
My
We
son-
had a
my son-
Philadelphia Eagle fan.
My sons are here. We got to make sure Lacavera boys are here. We got to watch out for them.
Yes.
We're here to start trouble.
Go Blue. The Michigan fan. Yeah.
I heard
You're
Adam, too.
You're in the wrong area, bro. He's wearing Michigan gear. Like, what's going on here? Where's my Ohio State guys?
Smell like somebody had dog poo on their shoe when they walked
I
by.
wonder if he became a Michigan fan when they won their title.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably. Speaking of Michigan fan, we have one next to me starting to stink
I
really
smell it.
bad.
I smell it.
Nonetheless, Kirk Cousins was in Chipotle. He ordered a double chicken salad at Chipotle. Weird choice of food for him, but I mean for Chipotle in general, because I normally go for the sodium bowl, which is a lot of rice, some black bean, a lot of steak, some pico, some cheese, a lot of cheese.
You get white or brown rice?
It's racist, but I go white. That's a racist comment. White or brown. Now, I am half Hispanic, but I have a white wife, so I go with white rice. I'm just fine.
I mix it up, man. It all depends how I'm feeling that day, man. We going white, we going brown. It's all different
Yeah,
for me.
yeah,
man.
it's good. It's good.
Put it in the bowl and stir it up.
I always get white rice, double chicken. You got to get sour cream, cheese, lettuce. What else? Oh, black beans. Some black beans are good, but I tell them light black beans. And then the hot sauce.
I'm a cheese guy too, so it's always extra cheese, man.
Is that
I found the trick to Chipotle too. If you're gonna get extra meat, you don't tell them right away. You let them get that first big scoop
Yeah.
on there, and then you
Yeah.
go, "Oh, I forgot to
oh,
tell
by the
you.
way,
Can
Add
I get
another.
Can I get that double meat? Then they got to put the same amount on, dog. You already done put it down there.
I've been double hungry today, so let me double it.
Yep.
Double it up.
But there's a report that they're looking to either trade him or let him go before the deadline comes again, even though they paid him as guaranteed. We were told before we went on today that they're looking to either trade him or let him go, which is still encouraging. But do you think that's why he was in Cleveland, to still talk to the Browns brass? Or do you think he was just visiting Cleveland Clinic to get his second opinion? Because, Cleveland Clinic is world renowned for medical stuff.
Absolutely.
So,
That's a very good possibility there, Angel. I think that I saw that since he already got that bonus money, he's under contract and he's not actually allowed to talk to other teams without permission. So that kind of left a question mark with me there too. But either way, he was here in Ohio, man. Up here in Westlake, Ohio. So.
There is no reason Kirk Cousins is just going to come to Ohio on a whim. I don't think that's a big leap for Cleveland Browns. I think we had to invite him down here to talk to him, maybe.
And we all know we got that QB spot that's got some holes in it. We don't know yet what's going to go down. There's still guys floating around, and I still think we need to bring in another savvy vet. Who that may be is under determination, Ryan. We don't know that right now. So.
There's a lot of savvy vets still out there, right, Mike?
Absolutely.
Yeah. As of right now, the other rich quarterbacks that we could bring here are Trey Lance, Tyler Huntley, Joe Flacco, Carson Wentz, Drew Lock, Case Keenum, Teddy Bridgewater, C.J. Beathard, Sam Ellinger, Easton Stick, which sounds like a baseball bat.
That does sound like a baseball bat.
I can't
He must
help
be
it.
from the South. That's like that's a Texas boy right there.
Brett Ripien, Josh Johnson, Jeff Driscoll, and 4 of these guys that are free agents right now have already been on the Browns.
I'm going to go ahead and say it real quick. Of the 4 that were already here, the only one that I would actually say nod the head in agreement to would be Joe Flacco. That's me. That's my opinion. We had an interview with Stump a few weeks ago. Stump said, you want to get that locker room jumping. You want to get those guys back on track. Everybody gravitated around him. Yes, he's got some years on him, but you know what? He brings that ability to the room, and he can win you some games, man. So why would you want to go back to, the Driscoll? Why would you want to run back down that rabbit hole? You already been down there. The only one on that list that's been here I would go with would be Joe.
Yeah, Joe, I would be flirting with Carson Wentz. I think he can give us a little bit more than what the other guys have. Drew Lock is young, so you can see what potential he has. Casey Keenum's been here. He won some games here, actually, under Kevin, correct?
Yes.
So why not? I know we're talking about Flacco, who won games here, but Keenum, who won games, and believe it or not, Stump actually talked about Keenum, saying they should have played him as opposed to playing Baker, who was hurt.
Through that injury, right?
So that's something that we can look at, too. Teddy Bridgewater, young, but he's...
I don't think he'd be with what Kevin Stefanski would need.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd fit well with the system, to be honest. But, I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, eventually they got to solve this quarterback issue. How you doing? Just saying hi to people that just look at me weirdly.
Dude, I'm
so used to being at my house on my bourbon barrel, the table by myself. Now these people are walking by, so it's kind of like, I'm like, it's like, what is your name? My name is, Bearded Browns.
Yeah.
That's my name, dog. No, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do with this quarterback situation. I think the main focus this year, Kevin and Barry are going to focus on is obviously the quarterback. I think the regime needs a quarterback. And I think we even see reports that we're going to hit on later what quarterbacks they're looking at. They have 3 in this week. So this is like all hands in. We're going to get a quarterback no matter what, and he's going to work out. The problem is, are they going to get the right quarterback?
So my question to the fans is, as far as second pick, would you rather have somebody like Abdul Carter, or would you want to go immediately for a quarterback, trade down to that number 1 spot to pick up somebody like Cam Ward, which is a possibility. If Tennessee doesn't pick him up, we can get him at number 2, but then you lose out on Abdul Carter. Or would you rather go for somebody like Jackson Dart for your 33rd pick? Or do you, like we were talking about before we started the show, there's a possibility that Pittsburgh could pick up like somebody like Will Howard or Jackson Dart at the 21st pick. So there's a lot of factors that you have to look into going into the draft that kind of makes it sketchy for the Browns. Having a second pick is great, but how do you play that?
Well, we're not going to know until it goes down. We can only allude and conjure up in our head the things that we think are going to go down, how they're going to play out. It's the fun part of it. At the end of the day, man, we are in a quarterback situation where we need to get a guy now. But I like looking at Abdul at that. If you can get him, I mean, defense wins championships. That is proven. You can get a quarterback down the line, but so if they were to go with that at their first pick, I'm okay with that. And if they go ahead and they pull a quarterback, I'm okay with that. But I think that the Abdul adding him here will definitely bring that Browns defense up to where we can be back at a number one defense where we were at a couple years ago. I mean, we were killing it. So we'll see how it plays out, man. That's the fun part of this chess game they play here as the time goes through.
So if you drafting a guy at 2 and then drafting a guy at 33, say hypothetically you go with a linebacker, defense tackle, whatever, at number 2, and you draft the quarterback at 33. If making a mistake at number 2, but getting number 33 correct, would that be forgivable? The number 2 pick being a fail as opposed to getting the number 33 if it is a quarterback?
Have we ever really had any success at drafting a quarterback in the first round?
Since 99, no, not really.
I kind of look at that and go, well, it doesn't seem like that.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield.
Baker. Yeah,
But since 99, that's a lot of years.
That's just 1 year. And they haven't had many chances at drafting. The last time they drafted number 1, they picked Miles. He turned out well.
Absolutely.
Baker was number 1.
Number one.
He's actually should have panned out pretty well. There wasn't so much drama surrounded around him at the time. So I think one thing I do think is this organization showed the last 2 picks they can pick the right guy at number 1 at high, right? So I think that we need to maybe trust that they're going to pick the right guy at number 2. The question I wonder is, like, I know we have this Abdul Carter, Shedeur Sanders, or Cam Ward at number 2, but what if it's Jackson Dart?
I'm okay with Jackson Dart.
I'm okay with Jackson Dart, man.
At number 2. Like, the argument is like, oh, you can't do Dart that high, but why not? And if he's your guy, why not get him at 2 as opposed to hoping that he falls to 33?
Go look at the numbers, man. When you sent me some of that stuff, Angel, a couple of days ago, you look at them top 5 guys there.
We're going to talk about the top 5 guys in a little bit.
Yeah,
and
it's not all who they're always saying it's going to be. There's other guys in that mix, man, that I think can do just as well here in the NFL.
Especially thinking about it, the guys at the 33rd pick in the NFL draft this year, there are going to be numerous players left still at that point that we want. It could be another running back. We don't know as of right now, unfortunately. But there's a lot of things that can happen in this draft that could work in the Browns' favor.
Yeah. And what the benefit is, actually, I saw somebody post this on social the other day. The benefit of NIL has allowed so much talent to start coming out in the later rounds because the talent now is staying because they can get $4 million as opposed to hurry up and leaving for an NFL contract. They can choose to stay for an extra year or 2 because they will make more in NIL as opposed to getting drafted later. So if we have to look at it from that perspective, that getting a 3rd round pick shouldn't be, bougie that because it might be better talent than past years. Having this talent drop as far as a 3rd round, 4th round, they might be looking not just for the Browns but other teams in general. You might be getting a running back in the 4th round like James from Oregon, who should have been maybe a first 2-round talent, but because there's so much talent ahead of them, so much need, defensive tackle is a huge lot of talent coming out. Edge rushers, a huge talent going around. Even tight end, which by the way we're going to talk about later, which we need behind David Njoku. Yeah. Like there's huge talent coming out, other than quarterback. Quarterback is like the minimum, which is what we need most, considering it's our luck as a Browns fan. We draft high in the minimum talent, but maybe there is a lot of talent in the quarterback room. We'll talk about later, by the way.
We definitely got some holes to fill, man, across the board. We definitely do.
Absolutely.
James on Facebook said Baker was the only good quarterback we drafted since '99. Tim Couch, I'll give Tim Couch a pass because I believe he was just thrown into the Wolves, which is true because he had a horrible offensive line. If we would have built a team around him, I think Tim Couch probably would have been way better.
The stadium was thrown together that year. The team was thrown together that year.
Yeah, he didn't get a fair shake here in Cleveland, Tim. And in my eyes, he did.
So we'll see what they do with that quarterback position, that needed, desperate quarterback situation that we seem to do every year, man. It's since I mean, I felt good with Baker because it's like we didn't need to talk about that for a couple of years, right? Like Baker's good. The only thing is like, is he good enough? Was a big talk, but we'll move on from that.
No, what happened was we got a taste of winning. We thought we could do better,
Yes.
and we moved along.
Which goes back to the coach point. Like, you're winning with Kevin, and Pittsburgh fans can relate to this. Like, they're winning with Mike Tomlin, but they think they can do better, right? Like, what if you don't do better? And we're seeing that now. We thought we can do better with Baker. We thought we had better in Deshaun, but it's not better. So I think we need, as Browns fans, or even fans in general, need to realize once you have somebody good, enjoy it.
I think it's kind of funny because, like, Dave here, the guy that runs Redline, is actually a Pittsburgh fan, and he hates Tomlin.
Right. Yeah.
Hates him.
A lot. Quite a few of
He's
their.
not even paying attention. But he
doesn't even
hates
have headphones
Tomlin.
on. He's
What-
over
Yeah.
there.
Quite a few Steelers fans are like that. They're not really heavy on Tomlin. I mean,
Yeah.
they want another coach to come in there to get them to playoffs, man.
It's spoken from a Browns fan who at the time was like, maybe Baker can't get us there. But now I'm like, I would rather win 12, 13 games and make the playoffs every year right now as opposed to
Absolutely.
winning 3 games and losing now outside of 1 year. I know we're speaking 1 year because we're 1 year removed from the playoffs, but
The year when we went to the playoffs that year, we went through 4 or 5 different quarterbacks. We were proving that we can do that. Imagine if we had the guy.
yeah.
Facts. Imagine if we had the guy. We got to get the guy. So
Me and Adam were talking about it earlier. That helmet-to-helmet contact in the game against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Swanson, I still hate him to this day. I hope he's listening to the show. I can't stand you, Swanson.
Yeah, what would have happened, honestly, that day?
POS.
If that wouldn't have happened, we would have scored that touchdown. We would have won that game. We would have advanced.
And that probably would have gave Baker his contract.
Oh,
If you think about
absolutely.
it, that probably would change the whole landscape because you're good enough to make the AFC Championship and helps you grow. The next year, typical teams that go to the AFC Championship typically go to the Super Bowl in a year or two after that, so you grow as a team. But because of that hit, ruined the fate of the Browns' history. Because after that, we made a horrible decision in shooting our shot at a quarterback that has only played 9 games.
It was a morale killer. It was a huge morale killer. That just letting go of Baker and then bringing Deshaun Watson in. I know Sam hates that word, Deshaun Watson. And I really try not to bring him up today, but
One of these days, we'll have a show. I see it, and there will be no name of that name being said. I don't want to say
no name of that name.
That name,
that name.
that cursed
That
name. Nonetheless, a couple other news real quick for the Browns. Barry and the Haslams eat with Abdul Carter. They had dinner. He couldn't work out because of his shoulder and foot injury. While Kevin hangs with the quarterback that seems to be trending upwards, which I think, by the way, as a show, I think we kind of projected this, right? We said earlier that Jackson Dart's going to rise. A lot of fans are like, oh, not Jackson Dart. It's either Shador or Cam. Shador or Cam, that's it. We had one fan that was big on him, which led me to look into him. I think it might have been James Frank. If you're on there, he's on the chat now. Let me know if that was you. But Jackson Dart, hi. Yeah, you have a sticker for sure.
Absolutely.
For
Grab
sure.
a couple stickers.
That's our Red Line. That's a network that we're affiliated with, and this is the Bearded Browns podcast one. Listen, we're here to entertain kids.
Everybody. Yep,
Thank
you're
you so
welcome.
much.
Have a good one.
We give away free stickers to whoever wants it, kids or adults alike.
Yeah,
And I-
Angel could sell stickers to a baby.
Yeah, I have
Come
a
down here,
yeah.
guys. Grab some stickers.
grab
We
some
got
stickers and
down
a
here.
card. I got wrapped up for a second. I'm like,
Ice Cubes Eskimos.
she came with me like those kid eyes. I'm like, man, I can't say no. I have
I
a kid.
know.
I can't. I have to stop what I'm
Angel
doing.
just stopped the show. He's like,
I was
hello.
Listen, I will stop the show for a kid who wants a sticker.
Okay, I'm gonna do one for James. He said start barking at the people passing. I'm gonna get him, bro.
Yeah, you're freaking out. Like, do not watch that podcast. They have a weird guy barking.
There's seriously like a group of 8 guys that just
Something
walked
wrong with
past
the guy
us
in the-
and
I
Sam
just-
did it.
I just did that, James. If you hear me, I just barked and I got some strange looks, but I don't care. It's what it is, baby.
James said Watson will have a name like that. I'm assuming this is anybody in the Harry Potter. Voldemort.
Baltimore, yeah.
Voldemort. The name should not be mentioned. Unfortunately, he's going to be mentioned for the rest of our lives because he's etched in Browns history as probably one of the worst deals in franchise history, let alone league history.
Absolutely.
Until the next one happens, and then they can talk about that and forget about this one.
I don't know. That's going to be a hard one to break that record on.
Yeah, but Barry and the Haslams eat with Abdul Carter, which is good. They're showing interest in probably one of the best pass rushers in the draft, which you flirt with two of the best pass rushers, technically, if Abdul lands up to be what they think he's going to be. You can have two pass rushers at the end and a good defensive tackle in the middle, which we'll talk about later, which I think are good pickups. And then you get Jackson Dart, right? They're really interested in Jackson Dart, and we're going to talk about Jackson Dart for a little bit. He's the dark horse at quarterback. Now, I felt to mention a couple months ago that Jackson Dart can be taken in the first round as one of the top 3 quarterbacks because I saw some tape. Someone caught me onto him, and I like the way he throws the ball. And as we were prepping for this show, I said, let me look at this quarterback. And actually, it opened up a total avenue of different things that we're going to talk about currently about quarterbacks in general in this draft. But we're going to hit on Jackson Dart right now. His height is 6'2", 223 pounds. In 13 games in 2024, he had 69.3 completion percentage, 4,279 yards passing, 29 touchdowns, and what I like best on this is 6 interceptions.
Yeah, that's very low, man. I
Yes.
mean, for all on passes, that's just the math proof. The proof's in the pudding on that one.
If you're a Kevin fan like I am, you know one thing he likes is what, Mike?
A quarterback.
That does. I think that's every. I think that's every
I'm
NFL
gonna be
team.
honest. I mean,
Yeah, he likes quarterback, and he likes a quarterback that takes care of the ball.
And you said, we talked earlier, Angel, you said that he was averaging with 10 yards a throw.
Yes, he
So what's-
averages
like you said,
10
what's-
yards a throw. That's a first down.
That's a
guys.
first down.
I don't know if you guys watch football, but every 10 yards we get a first
That's
down.
a first down.
first down.
So when he throws the ball, he likes to throw it 10 yards and above. Okay, so that's a good thing. But the thing that I'm very happy about, the thing that I love about him, is his touchdown to interception ratio, which tells me that he can read a defense, he knows where to put the ball, and Kevin loves smart guys, right? And there's not enough talk about Jackson Dart and his smartness. Shedeur is a smart guy. One thing that he's good at is knowing where to place the ball. But one thing that Jackson has on Shedeur is his ability to hit the long deep ball.
Yeah, and he seems like a Kevin scheme fit guy. And to me, Dart. I don't know. Like I said, man, there's other guys out there because everybody's on the Shedeur ward, but there's definitely other guys floating around out there.
What's up, Donald? Thanks for joining the chat. But continue with the Jackson Dart. 29, 6 interceptions, 29 touchdowns. Has a passer rating of 180. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a high number. Normally, you want to be at 100 to be a good quarterback. He's at 180. His career stats in 45 games is his completion rating. By the way, you want to be above 60 to be a good quarterback. He's at 65. He's got 11,970 yards passing, 81 touchdowns, and 27 interceptions in 45 games. That is, the interception thing to me is more appealing than anything because we've seen a lot of them this past year. It took us out of a lot of games. It killed us in a lot of games that our defense was winning. A lot of our quarterbacks like Jameis threw picks. And I think that's what the issue with Kevin and Jameis was, is that he put us in situations where we just lost games because he threw 3 or 4 or 5 picks a game.
Well, another thing we got to take into consideration is our toughness of schedule.
Yep.
Last year we had a pretty rough schedule. We should have won more games than we obviously did, but at the same token, you got to have a smart quarterback that is willing
100%.
to be able to make those. Like Joe Flacco did it, man. Joe Flacco went out there and he had fun.
He got them guys moving and grooving,
Yeah.
man. And like that's
I'm gonna
that was
punch
that was
somebody in the face so bad right now.
Because you want Joe Flacco that bad?
No,
Oh. No, because I'm tired of throwing interceptions.
Adam is not on the Joe Flacco train
Oh,
whatsoever.
yeah, Adam doesn't like Joe Flacco because we can win with Joe Flacco, and Adam's a Pittsburgh guy, and he's afraid that
No,
we're going to
Adam's
beat him.
not a Pittsburgh guy.
Oh, Adam.
Dave's the Pittsburgh guy.
Dave,
Adam's
Adam.
a Browns guy.
Oh, Adam's a Brown. Oh, you don't like.
But he's also a Michigan guy, so his opinion doesn't even
Yeah,
count.
whatever his opinion is, when he says Wolverine, I don't even listen after that because it's like, what are you?
Wolverine sounds a lot like I gotta pee.
Wolverine sounds like not
like-
winning.
sounds like dog shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Pardon me.
You can hop in and defend your Wolverineism if you want to, but we're going to cut you
Wolverineism.
off. We're going to cut you off every time. No Wolverineism here.
Everybody, I was gonna dye my beard last night, and I went all natural.
Dude, I'm telling you, if I had some silver in my beard, I would keep it.
I'm rocking it, dude. I'm never gonna
It's
change
the
it.
end thing, fellas. All the chicks dig it.
See, yeah, all the chicks dig the.
Turn that mic up.
Yeah, turn that mic on. By the way, I just heard you just because your voice, not because the mic.
I'm almost a 50-year-old man. I'm not gonna be putting foo-foo highlights in my beer. It
Can
ain't
you hear us
happening.
now?
Oh, you're perfect. I can hear you now,
How about
sir.
now?
Yeah,
Oh, that's cute.
Alright,
You
that's
guys are
perfect.
sharing the mic.
Hey, this
Sure.
is live. This is my first time doing anything like this.
Shout out to our sound engineers over there, Wolverine fan and a
Shane,
fan.
thank you, Shane O'Mac.
Shane
I'm just here
O'Mac.
hanging out.
Shane.
He's
Oh,
hanging
I'm
out.
just here so I don't get fined.
My beautiful hot wife just came up too. Got me all messed up. Hi.
Hi. He's like, who's that pretty girl? Oh, that's the one I'm married to. Nice. Yeah, but Jackson Dart seems to be a legitimate contender for the Browns thing, and I don't care. I get it. I'm afraid that if a lot of teams obviously are going to see what the Browns see, obviously what we've seen with Jackson Dart, and I think he can go. Obviously, he's going to go in the first round.
He is.
I'll be shocked if maybe high second, and maybe he'll last to 33rd. That'd be a huge blessing because there's a lot of talent on the board in the first round. The team I'm worried about, obviously, and then he's a quarterback is Pittsburgh. They're still.
I'm seeing Dart, man. I'm really feeling that he, as far as quarterbacks getting picked, he's going to be in the top 5.
I can see that, and I
He'll
know that's a
definitely be in the
strong
top
take.
5.
That's just people are like, man, that's a strong take.
What do you guys?
You
over there
heard
think?
it here first. You heard it here first.
So Jackson Dart, top 5 quarterback taken or taken in the first 5 picks?
No, out of the quarterbacks of the draft class, he will be in the top.
No,
He'll be one of the top.
I'll be even bolder. I think he could be in the top 5 pick.
I feel like somebody might do that.
Yeah. Because one thing that's valuable in this league is a quarterback, right?
Absolutely.
Once you find your quarterback, you win. Look at Kansas City, calling Patty Mahomes. Now they're like the darling of the league.
There's a lot of teams in the
Buffalo
NFL right now
found their
that
quarterback. Now they're the darlings of the league. Washington changed the whole organization. They were the scum of the organization, like worse scum than we were as Browns, right?
Yeah.
Now they found their quarterback, and they're like, people want to go there because they love Daniels. Once you find your quarterback, you find a team that people want to play with.
that
Okay.
Daniels was a diamond in the rough, man. He turned out to be a really good rookie coming in, man, and his proof was on that field, man.
I was wrong about him, honestly. I didn't have him doing very well.
I didn't really have high hopes either, man, but he went out there and just balled. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, this
You're not
kid
the
is
only
just
one
tearing it up.
because Daniels was kind of like what Jackson Dart is currently. He was a late riser, and people are like, why are they drafting him where they're drafting him? But obviously, the organization and the coach saw something that they can build around, and they built around it, and he lit it up this year. And this is something I could see in Jackson Dart. By the way, Jackson Dart was ranked 4th in QBR rating in the NCAA last year, ahead of Sanders, Milroe, and Dart and Howard, which is the 4 quarterbacks the Browns are flirting with now. Dart had an 84.7, while Ward had an 88 quarterback rating. That's only 4 points off the guy who's going to go supposedly number 1.
At one, yeah.
EPA, what EPA means is now we're about to get into the nerd stats, which is the Bearded Browns are getting into.
Where's
by the way.
Chad? Chad, if you're listening, we
Chad-
need them nerds.
Chad's about to send us. Hey, send me a link. Let's talk about this.
Let's get Chad out here, man. Hopefully you're listening. Tune in, Chad. We need you
Yeah.
out here, buddy.
We're about to get into some nerd stat. EPA meaning expected points added. By the way, Watson had a -9. -9. Whenever he had the ball, he had a -9 last year. Okay. So this, put that in perspective, how important this is. As a quarterback, you want to have your EPA high because why? You have the ball 100% of the time in your hand.
-9.
He was ranked 6th at 78%.
It's so Cleveland. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
well,
I
you
love
know,
that.
it is negative
That's
9.
so Cleveland.
It is like you paid a guy $240 million to be negative in points whenever he had the ball, and it showed his record. It dictates that, right?
Right. If you would have told me that, I would have never ever believed it. But I mean, everything happened now and then.
Negative 9. To add some context.
Nobody
here,
wants to use them on Madden. They're like, don't even.
Nope.
No, he's garbage. He's garbage.
Let's add context to this. Ward was first. This is why Ward is highly touted. Number 1, he had 103. Sanders was 4th, 82. Howard is 28th, EPA, which is low, and Milroe is 23rd. Okay, so EPA is a stat measured how much a play helps or hurts a team in scoring.
Adam, what do you think of Will Howard?
Will Howard, Adam, give me your take.
My unbiased opinion,
No, a biased opinion.
he sucks.
Thank you, Adam. Thank
So-
you.
So, okay, other than saying that, what is your proof of he sucks?
Just look at the Michigan game.
I mean,
Oh.
Michigan was a top two. I hate to say it, top two defense. Maybe the
You
top
asked
defense.
Andrew, you asked the wrong guy that question.
Yeah.
Gosh, dang it.
I wish you would
no.
not have asked him to elaborate.
The biggest problem I heard from Buckeye fans themselves was his decision making and the fact that he held onto the ball too long.
Are you talking about Howard or Milrow?
Will Howard.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Milrow.
My bad. I thought you
You guys want some
No.
stickers?
Milrow.
I think Milrow will be fine with Reese. I really do. Because when Reese was there, he had a better season 2 years ago than he did last year without
Want
Reese.
some stickers?
So he kind of regressed a little bit this year, but I think Milrow will be fine under the system with Reese.
Which will make you beg.
Take one
Good
of
point.
these,
May
too.
beg the question: Why did
There
Milrow
you go.
regress? Because Tommy Reese wasn't there.
Exactly.
So if you have Tommy Reese in your organization, which did the Browns have Tommy Reese?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the Browns have Tommy Reese, so that's your equalizer. So I won't be too excited, but I would feel okay if Milrow was there because I think his upside's high. The dude's fast. He's running like a 4.3.
Yeah,
Let
he's
me ask
smooth
you
up.
guys this though: like, there's always that one quarterback every year that falls way too far. Is that Shador this year, or is that somebody else?
I
think
said
so.
that a couple
I think
weeks
so.
ago.
I think so.
I think Shador
Shador's
could
already-
drop out of the top 10.
He's already fallen.
Yeah.
I've heard rumors that they're saying that he could drop out of the first round now.
We talked about it at the end of the last show, I believe, Angel.
Yeah.
When we had our interview with Mr. Eric Colley. I feel like he's going to end up dropping down in that draft. You always have that one guy that has the high hopes. It happens every draft, and they're sitting there. And you could kind of start seeing their eyes start filling up with water. I'm like, oh, it didn't go the way it wanted, did it?
All right. Well, let me say this: if he does fall, for the love of God, Andrew Berry and them better not draft him at 22 because we have not had a good track record at drafting quarterbacks at the 22nd pick.
Well, you have to
We
worry
have-
about that Pittsburgh will get him at 21.
We haven't
Yeah.
ever had any good drafting of quarterbacks except Baker. So it's
I mean,
I do
been
think
tough, man.
I do think this might be a different year because I think the options at quarterback, as we're about to see here, are more broad than what people may think. Because stats are truth to me. I'm a stat guy. Stat is telling. Now Howard did hold the ball too long, but here's the deal: Howard at Kansas State didn't have enough talent as he did Ohio State. When he was in Ohio State, he shined because his talent was better. If you put talent around Howard, is he going to excel?
Yeah. I
Typically,
believe
a
so. I
quarterback
believe so.
should excel, right? Typically.
well, which Will Howard are you going to get? The regular season?
Oh, you're going to
Will
get the
Howard?
Ohio State Will Howard because I'm an Ohio State fan.
Well, no. I'm saying which Will Howard are you going to get? The regular season or the one that?
Oh,
showed up in the-
preseason
or
for
the
sure.
playoffs?
I blame the regular season on the coaching staff that didn't open him up.
Okay, and that's it because he was a different animal.
Yeah, because they didn't trust in him. They didn't trust him because he did have a couple games where he was kind of sketchy. He threw a pick in the first drive, so you're kind of like waiting back and seeing what he does, right?
We could point out the couple negatives that Will Howard does have is putting the football in harm's way with turnover-worthy plays. We've watched it happen where he gets somewhat careless. That you can't do that in the NFL.
But when we call that a gunslinger today, like we praise people for taking Brett Favre, Baker Mayfield was the same guy. Like he's a gunslinger. He's going to throw the ball. If Will Howard is a gunslinger, is willing to put ball into play to make a play, shouldn't that also be praised? I'm trying to be positive here.
yes, but there's
'Cause I'm
more.
an Ohio
I mean,
State fan.
his lower body mechanics lack consistency on dropbacks.
Okay.
He can get a little heel clicky when climbing into the pocket.
Okay.
It seems like he gets nervous in the pocket, and
Okay.
while he's not the guy to elude the pocket, he could still make plays happen out of the pocket. But you have to get rid of the ball, like Adam said, holding on to the ball too long is an issue. With our offensive line, it's a possibility that you have the chance to do that, but not often.
What's his INT stats? Do we have that? That's something that I didn't see.
We can look it up.
I'm just curious because you could gunsling, but if you're throwing it to the wrong side a lot, that's a problem already. We know how that goes down. That's why I was just curious. I don't
Right.
know what his interception rate is.
While he had less than an ideal performance at the combine this year, we all know that he made a pro day, crucial one for the fifth-year senior. His stats will speak volumes, and the CFP title lifting campaign. You hear that, Adam? The
What?
CFP title
National
lifting
title
campaign
champions.
for the Buckeyes. Howard completed 73.1% of his passes for 4,010 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. While not the quickest, he also ran for 226 yards and even 7 touchdowns on the ground. So that's not huge.
It's not god awful.
But I don't want a guy that's going to be pushing himself out of the pocket. Like,
So I have a take on Howard. I want to know what you guys' opinion is. Howard didn't have a lot of development at Kansas State, and it showed that once he had better coaches around him to develop him, Ohio State, he improved. Do you think if he is a Brown, and I trust in Kevin's development as a quarterback because we saw that he made other quarterbacks look good, do you think Kevin can develop him to be even better? He can work on his foot issues here. He can work on the ability to make the right read or get the ball out of his hands quicker. And not just here, but any NFL team that produces a good quarterback, you can work that out of him. So if that's your only worry is that, well, his foot issue, he dances a lot and he holds onto the ball, then I'm not too concerned because I think if you're good enough, if you're smart enough, and you work on that hard enough, he's going to be pretty solid.
Well, here's the one thing I will say in his defense, and it's kind of a positive for Will Howard. He fits the AFC North with his size because we need that big-bodied quarterback because we haven't had one other. I mean, Flacco was probably the last one, obviously. But, I mean, if we're going to draft one, you need to draft a big, like, Roethlisberger-style quarterback for this division.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's 6'4", 237
AFC North is a hard knock conference up here. Yeah, definitely need a big-bodied quarterback.
I think Sam said it best. He's a poor man, Josh Allen, right now, at least. Right?
Yeah.
He's got the Josh Allen type of
Yeah.
I like that.
mobility. His
Yep.
body type is Josh Allen.
Yep.
Now,
Yeah.
mind you, Josh Allen wasn't Josh Allen when he came in the league.
No.
He came from a division, 4, 3, the lower division, and he developed. And his big knock was he throws too much interception. He runs too much. And eventually the Buffalo Bills developed him. They got rid of Ken Dorsey, which I don't know why we even grabbed him last year, but that's besides the point.
Really quick, I want to touch on Angel too, and Mike is we talk about this development and Kevin being able to get these guys and develop a quarterback. But what we are lacking here is a quarterback coach. I think that
Tommy
plays.
Reese.
That's going to play a big part getting guys.
No, we got one, didn't we?
We got one this year.
Yeah, we ended up getting one.
but I'm saying following years we've never
Yeah,
had that
for
in the
sure.
room. So
Since
hopefully,
Baker,
I
actually.
mean that's
Baker's
a
the
crucial
last one.
part, man. You got to have that coach there. It's just like having a running back.
Well,
coach.
because when you got Watson, he brought his own guys.
okay.
He's like, I don't need
That
your guys.
Quincy guy.
Yeah, I got my own guy.
Yeah,
Quincy
Watson
guy,
was like,
my
I ain't
own
going to do shit there too long but collect money. So
Yeah.
just
Quarterback coach, what? I'm my own quarterback coach.
Bring
I'm-
back Freddie Kitchens.
No,
Oh,
please do not bring back Freddie Kitchens.
Freddie gets
Um, yeah,
Man.
back. Dart seemed good. We like Howard, right?
Well, who's the quarterback in your guys' mind that's not on anybody's radar really?
Oh, good question.
That would probably surprise people.
I'm going to answer that question because we had that written down.
I think I have an idea of who you're going to say.
We're going to say, can I say it, or Mike? You want to break it?
you
Go
could.
ahead. I got one.
Kyle McCord.
Yep.
Kyle McCord, and I'm going to tell you why.
Not just because of the Ohio
Because
State
as I
thing.
was looking up Dart information, as I was looking up Shador information, I found a guy that was that's just hanging around in the top 5 in many stats that no one is talking about.
Right.
Former Ohio State guy, no one liked here because he was not a big game quarterback. Maybe because he wasn't young enough. He was just didn't get caught up in the moment, right? Maybe we should have
Right.
groomed him a little bit. Kyle McCord, under pressure, he has a 73% passer rating, which isn't great, but isn't bad. Deep ball passing, which is important in the NFL, right? You want to make big plays? Then you need Kyle McCord, 96%.
Just as long as he's not
96%.
dancing, whatever dance he was
Oh,
doing.
Again,
man.
if you think you can work that out with Howard, you can work that out with McCord.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, because McCord is one that I was thinking of, but the one that I keep hearing about is a kid from Louisville.
He's 26.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's
What-
26.
And how do you pronounce that last name?
I can't. Mike's better at pronouncing things. I have a speech problem. Go ahead, Mike.
Where's the name at? I'll try it.
But
Do we even
I'll do
have
my
it on
deal.
here?
no, I don't have him on here because I did not want to talk
I
about.
want to say they say it's like it's shoot.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Show.
Yeah.
SHOUGH, I believe. Show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Show.
the quarterback
So-
coach now is Bill Musgraves, so,
so-
that guy could work some magic this year.
Yeah, a lot of
So-
people had not seen. I wrote some stuff down that I actually forgot to copy paste. But Kyle McCord under pressure. I told you that's the new stuff.
But didn't he set a record for passing yards in the conference? For
Okay,
certain-
so yeah, and yeah, he was ranked number 1 in passing yards in the NCAA. He was ranked number 2 in EPA, meaning if you want points, you're going to have him on your team. Number 1 was Ward, obviously. Passing completing percentage, he was ranked number 1. So if there's a quarterback that no one is talking about, that someone's going to pick if they pick number in the second round, third round, you're going to be like, why him? That's probably why. They see that he has it. And by the way, he did this at Syracuse.
Right.
Who's at Syracuse that's talented? Nobody.
Right.
And I don't really the under pressure percentage I'm not concerned of, because who's at Syracuse's offensive line that's good? You can't think of anybody.
No.
So if you put him in an NFL offensive line that I think we have, just going back to the old scheme, I think having him on a team, I would be like, all right, Kevin, see what you can do.
Yeah, having him maybe behind Batonio, Teller, Zinner, giving him some actual protection, man. Those are the vets. Conklin, yeah, I see where you're going with that, man. I definitely think that he could be a proof in the pudding here in Cleveland.
Speaking of that, I know
he's that back burner guy.
Adam's going to love this, but I'm really looking forward to seeing Zach Zinter as a guard this year, I'm hoping. I think after that broken leg, coming off of that, after they won a championship, I think him coming to the Browns and working now with the Cleveland Browns offensive line coach, the new way, the new things that are going to happen this year with the offensive line, I think Zach Zinter is going to be a pivotal piece to this offensive line.
I think they have to, because they drafted him to play. So if he doesn't play, then you're like, Andrew Berry, you messed up again.
I might actually shed a tear that you actually had something nice to say about somebody from Michigan.
Well, because he's a Brown. That's the only reason why he said something
Exactly.
nice. If he was on Pittsburgh, he probably would say, that guy stinks.
Yeah.
And don't forget, he was on, I think that was the year that Michigan won he was on the teams that Michigan won back-to-back offensive lineman of the year or whatever.
I thought you were going to talk about Ohio State wins. We're not.
No.
We're just gonna blot him out.
No,
blot him out. Whenever he says anything Ohio State, just knock him out.
No, it was the offensive lineman. Like, they had the best offensive line in college for 2 years. He was on both of those. So
yeah, they've had a good offensive line the last 3, 4.
Our offensive line
clearly the last 4 years. All right, we can get that out of the way.
I didn't say it. You did.
I love Ohio State, but I'm good enough to. I'm a realistic guy. I'm like, Michigan had a good offensive line.
Why do you think Brown? I mean, I get it. I hate Ohio State. You guys hate Michigan. Why is it like when we draft those players, like people get like so shitty towards Michigan players? Like, you know what I mean?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't. I think once he's a Brown, he's a Brown.
Yeah.
I can see past the college color.
There's people that I like that come out of Michigan, and
Steve Everett?
as long as they're not a Michigan guy anymore. You love your school. I get that, but
believe it or not, I was a
so
Braylon Edwards guy until I realized he can't catch a ball.
So
that's another thing. The Browns don't have good luck with Michigan guys.
They don't. But then the Steelers take all Buckeye players and turn them into, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Braylon had more. He did better catching French fries, doing commercials with Charlie Fry than he did catching the dang football. So he was ass, man. Braylon Edwards.
So would you guys be okay with the
send them back?
Would you guys be okay with Abdul Carter? Right now, the trend is Abdul Carter at 2, and then Dart at 33. Ideally,
yes.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
And that's great, because if Abdul isn't that pass rusher you thought, or most people think, Dave, he will be. You still got your quarterback, and if Abdul Carter is average pass rusher, even if you draft him at 2, you overcame that mistake by drafting your future franchise.
Yeah,
I think that's important to understand. Like, if they get 2, I think pick number 33 is as important as pick number 2.
Who do you think really, in reality, is on the Browns' big board right now?
I really think it's, and you guys are going to hate this, I really think it's Abdul Carter or Mason Graham.
I think it's going to be Abdul. I think some of that.
I think Abdul, then Mason Graham won.
I actually think
I'm a big Mason Graham guy, even though he's from Michigan. He's the best defensive tackle in this draft.
Every time we say Michigan, we look
he's
over
got
at Adam.
6 sacks. He's got 6 sacks in 3 years. That guy knows how to get to the quarterback. He gets behind the line of scrimmage. He's a good run stopper.
I think that was ran by in his meeting. I think, in my eyes, that was ran by in the meeting with Miles. I think Miles said it. What do you think about Abdul? I think he says yes, even though there's quarterback talk that we need this quarterback. It goes to say, man, defenses win championships. And if you can get a guy stellar like that, get him, build that defense. You're going to be playing with this quarterback stuff going on. We're not going to be a crazy team next year. We're still trying to find that identity in our quarterback. But get that defense, and you can build on this quarterback stuff coming up.
What was that quote you had earlier from that fine gentleman?
His name is Paul Bear Bryant. He was a coach in multiple.
He was a pretty good coach.
Multiple college teams, and he's the one that coined offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. That's where that came from. And what a great coach he was. So like I say, man, that is a thing too. I think if you can pick that top player on your defense, you can get him and you can draft a quarterback later down the road. And like I say, I still see us signing another veteran quarterback before this draft. And then you get a quarterback down the line there. I think you go after that top guy.
You have to be realistic when it comes to that. You never always bringing in a guy from the draft. Normally, you wouldn't start that first season like J.J. McCarthy. Unfortunately, due to injury, he was supposed to start, but wound up losing out on the job and getting injured. It's unfortunate.
Which worked out for Minnesota because they signed Sam Darnold and he ended up tearing up the league.
Right, but you got to think of the Browns standpoint where you bring in a fresh guy, it's probably not going to work the first year. So you bring in that bridge guy that could possibly show that young man how to play football, how the NFL works. Get him in there for certain situations, maybe let him get his feet wet. But I don't want to see a guy literally start this year without having a bridge.
You're talking quarterback.
Yeah,
Yes.
quarterback.
Right. Okay.
Young quarterback.
Abdul, I could see Abdul being plugged in
he's
right
done
away.
plugged in,
I'm talking to quarterback. Only,
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm with you, Mike, on that because they rush these guys out like fast food anymore. They don't get no time to get any of that sought after extra sensei stuff from these veteran quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I think they're pushed out there prematurely, and you get the bad results that you get from some of these guys because they're being rushed so fast into the pace of the game.
And I think the numbers are there that if a quarterback is set behind another veteran, he turns out to be good. Jordan Love comes to mind right away.
Patrick Mahomes.
He sat behind, 10, 11, 12 games, but still came in ready because he almost had almost a year under his belt before he got to know the system for 13, 14 weeks in the offseason before he came in, so he was comfortable. So I think the Browns absolutely need to have a veteran that's going to come on, even if it's 6 games. That's 6 more weeks if you want to count the preseason, 8, 9 more weeks.
Who is ready for the preseason to just be gone?
They're headed that way.
I mean, I wouldn't mind doing like 1, maybe 2 games at most.
I say 2.
You get your young guys out
2.
there and you get a few of them playing against some
2 games and add another game to the season.
I think they're going to do a lot more in what they call those scrimmages, one-on-one scrimmages, where they do
right. Where you bring in a team. And
bring in a team.
Practice.
The Browns already have 2 of those lined up this year with Philly and I think Minnesota actually.
I want to see more football through the year, so I think we used to be at 4 preseason games. Now you're at 3. Take it to 2. Add another game on the season. Let's watch these guys make their money and have the football season a little bit longer going into the
let's
winter.
watch them get injured a little bit sooner.
Hey man, you want to play?
They're going to be doing 2 bye weeks at that point. They're going to have to, right?
Yeah.
They're going to have to do 2 bye weeks, separate.
I want to see more football.
Yeah.
More time to rest and keep guys fresh.
That was another.
I'm a gladiator guy. If you're not entertained, leave the building, get out of here. It's the wrong
that's
sport to
another
watch.
crazy thing, guys. Is our 2024, or 23, our bye week was like week 4.
Right.
This week we had a week 10, or this year we had a week 10, and it didn't help us at all. Let's go back to week 4, I guess.
6 or 7's good.
I think 6 or 7's great. Right in the middle of the season almost.
Yeah.
And just get a good rest in, man. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to get another bogus bye week this year. It's like they had to switch it up every other year or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like if you're playing 19 games and those teams that get like the week 11 bye week, dude, they're going to be done.
Well, don't forget too, we have the London game this year.
Yeah, London too. They're going to be traveling. That's who's going to get up early for that game?
Where was the game at this year? That was like
I don't even want to go with that. I don't think you should be playing over there. That's stupid.
Why
Brazil
not?
I don't
game.
like it.
You got to
It was like-
expand the
Just
game.
don't
7
like
in
it.
the morning.
Just don't like
so
it.
much gang activity in Brazil.
You got to expand
They
the
can
game.
keep their football, and we'll keep our football.
It's football.
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 Either way, I
It's
think it's good for the game.
FUTBOL.
I just don't like it. Like I don't know how that work out for a season ticket holder. You're a season ticket holder, and the Browns are playing the game in London. Are you
Go to
missing
London,
out on,
bro.
Are you missing out on a
No,
game?
you fly to London.
No.
Take the
You
got-
16-hour plane line to
Listen,
London.
If you got money to afford season tickets, you're going to.
Yeah, you're going to
your ass is
London.
going to London.
Not
You're
a
going
big
to
fan.
London.
Not a big fan.
Visit the Eiffel Tower.
Not a
I
big
want
fan.
to
Make a
eat
trip out of it.
Not a big fan.
Just go with your wife. Be
Didn't
romantic.
The Jags play like 3
Where
weeks
you
over
need-
there?
What was that?
The
The
Jags.
Jags play like 3 weeks over
I
there.
think
Yeah.
the Jags do.
I think they want to move
Why is
them
it
over
always the Jags?
Well, because
They-
they
I think
take
the
their
Jags
owners-
owner
yeah.
owns the soccer team over
Yeah,
there.
he's from that area. But I think what you need to do, Sam, is surprise your wife with a trip to London. Make it romantic, but say, "Psych, we're going to Brown." She actually will like that. She said, "Ooh, we're going to a Browns game. Let's go." You see?
like, wait a minute, this is Wolfie's parking lot. You lied to me.
I should do that to my wife. My wife would be upset. I'm like, "We're going to London. We're going to visit
You
Paris."
That's the
then
quickest trip ever, babe. We're 5 minutes down the road. Let's get it.
The last day
cheap.
of the trip, I'm like, "Wife, we're going to a Browns game
Now,
versus the
see,
Jaguars."
You do it smart.
She'll
You're
be
telling,
pissed.
you're, telling her,
What?
you're taking her to Paris, but when you get up on the Eiffel Tower, there's a big screen, and that's where you have a
The
whole
Browns
spread
play.
laid out.
Sorry,
for the
honey.
Browns game.
This is how we're ending the trip. I'm not proposing again. We're watching the Browns game. Sorry.
Yeah.
No one's getting a ring today. Nonetheless, the Browns. That it'll be interesting to see what they do with the schedule once they break down the preseason games. They add another preseason. Bye weeks. I think the NFLPA, the Players Association, will be like, listen, we can't play 20 games without another bye week. We're getting hurt out here.
I was going to touch on a comment, but I can wait. I'll ask you guys. It's James with a Chubb comment. We want to wait on that or come back to it?
No,
He's-
but it's in our notes.
Is
here,
it in
too.
notes?
Yeah, we're going to get to that
okay.
here shortly.
Yeah, we're going to get to that shortly, James. We're watching you.
Next topic of conversation. Miles seems to have a change of message. For those that have been following Miles' saga, he went from "I want to trade because we don't have a quarterback" to now he is saying recently on 850 ESPN with Nathan Segura, his comments were, any team that's going to go far needs a quarterback and one that is young. That's a change. He went from like, we need somebody to win now to we need a young quarterback, someone that can learn and willing to be patient with the process. Miles got paid, now he's willing to be patient. Another change.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's going to be some bumps in the road. He's now understanding. Okay.
Yes.
He wanted to win a championship in 2 days. Now he's going to be patient.
He said, get Abdul and I'll wait on a
Yeah.
quarterback.
It's going to be some learning pains. Again, he's being patient. But us as a team has to be able to be a landing pad for him to be us as a team has to be able to be a landing pad for him to fall back on. And knowing being able on the defense side to help him out whenever things go wrong. So Miles went from I'm tired of doing it all to listen, I'm willing to do it all.
Did they hypnotize his ass?
Yeah, right.
No, I think that's a tell in our line of work. That's a tell of telling us we're drafting a quarterback, and I'm going to have to be okay with it because he's going to be young, but it's a quarterback I'm okay with. What's your take on my
So Miles
interpretation
thinks
of
we are
that?
getting somebody. He knows.
He knows a lot more that he's trying to give you the little breadcrumbs to throw out there, but it's hard to pick them up.
Right.
Is what he's trying to give us.
They sat in confidence, man, and that's you got to go Scout's honor on that. You just can't go ahead and start blurting out the things you know. I mean, because it's a business. People catch on. It could change
Yeah,
a
but
lot of things.
But this is the time of year you throw out those smoke screens and you mention somebody else's name, so you think all your attention's that way, and then it's really distracting them. So you can, kind of like
Yeah.
politics.
Yeah, I
Yeah, that'd be
can. I
great.
see what you're saying.
Anybody got Miles Garrett's phone number? Send it to me. I got a couple questions for that guy.
my first question is what changed from wanting to win a Super Bowl to being patient would be my first topic.
I hate to sit here and say
Money.
it's the dollar signs,
It's
but
got to be. guys.
Money.
It has to be. It has to be.
if you threw
They made the money right. He says, you know what? That sounds great, but I still want to be a champ. We will. Got to be patient, though. And he said, okay, well, you show me what you're going to put down. They had to sit down. They had to talk, and they're going to build that. That's what's going to happen. He knows and they know, and then the money helps. And money helps.
Money loves to cure all illness, right? I'll be honest with you. If my business was like, hey, we're going to offer you this much money to be happy, I'll fake it.
Right.
I'll fake it. I'm like, sure, I love this company. So what if you guys work us 80 hours a day?
All right, so money's the root of all evil. Give me some money. I will show you that is not the case. I will help out all kinds of people and be okay.
Yeah, for all of you losers that say money can't buy happiness, that is a bold lie. Because
Think
I'll
about
tell you what,
some
right now,
happiness.
if somebody dropped $1 million in my lap, I'd be happy. All my problems would be solved.
Happiness. That is true. Myles Garrett, I think his mind change has to do with the fact that he might have been in communication with Andrew Berry after Haslam turned him down. He said, listen, we have a plan at quarterback, whether we're going to draft one or whether one's going to fall to us, because Barry knows a lot when it comes to free agency, knows a lot when it comes to contract. Maybe he knows, listen, Minnesota's not going to hold on. I mean, Atlanta's not going to hold on to Cousin in this contract. They're going to let him go. He's going to come here.
James Frank has a very valid question in there. He goes, maybe he's thinking that we're getting Ward, with how him and Njoku are working out. Like, is that what Miles is thinking?
That is probably the best case scenario if he falls to 2. If Tennessee ends up going with Abdul Carter at number 1, I think we're doing the Browns draft, right?
Right.
With Redline. I think if Ward is dropping to 2, I think I'm just going to drop my headphones. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to go home and sleep a happy man.
No, because you know what? Typical Browns, Tennessee takes Carter 1, and then we go up and draft Shador with Cam Ward still sitting there.
No. I
Let's
do.
not put that
We're
in
not-
the ether,
Yeah.
please.
No.
I think Cam fits the protocol type that both Andrew and Kevin like, as Ward can run. He's physical. He's mobile. And I think for some reason, Barry loves those big mobile quarterbacks. And we've seen that even in the quarterback they picked up, Kenny Pickett. He's mobile.
You got to
big,
have, like Adam said earlier, man, this the division that we're in, you need a big guy
that can take hits.
that can take hits.
I want a big guy that can play action. I want a big guy that can stay in the pocket. It's not that much to ask for.
We've seen what happens with the DTRs.
Yeah, and Shador is all that, but the only issue with Shador is he doesn't have size. He's a little bigger than me, which I'm not a big guy. I'm very small.
Unfortunately, I'm big for no reason.
I just like to eat food. And I'm tall.
I seen a quick funny real quick. It was Dion. He was with his other son. I don't know his name, but I seen it was a video. He was throwing the football, and Dion, it was a duck, and Dion goes, "Yeah, you're gonna have to find a bit different position. That ain't gonna work." I thought that was pretty funny. He said, "As soon as I seen that duck, I'm like, he ain't no quarterback."
Man, shout out. We're an hour in, so let me give a shout out to our sponsors, Beard Gains, beardgains.com. No, Mike covered the mic. Was like,
It was still y'all
can't hear me. Yeah. Can you guys hear me? No. I'm gonna censor myself.
Right.
Like, this guy's the smartest tech guy I know, and he covered the mic. Love him.
It didn't work.
But beardgains.com. Go to beardgains.com. Use Bearded Browns at checkout. Save 10%. Listen, Beard Gains does all the things you need to help your beard grow healthy and strong. Since I've been using it, my wife is like, "Man, your beard is growing in fuller, longer." I said, "Well, part of that is because I don't cut it anymore. And second of all, I have a beard sponsorship affiliate that I need to use, and I'm rubbing beard." I had a friend over the other day because we just had a kid 5 days ago.
Rub the beard oil.
No, it was a female, but I did not let her because my wife would kill me. She's coming off her labor. Go Browns, baby!
Yeah.
You're the first one that said
Get him
go
a sticker.
Browns.
Hey, look, get you a sticker over here, man.
Yeah, can we get him a sticker and add this Red Line Network just in case you're interested
Grab my card too.
Yeah,
That's a red line. Get we got
watch our podcast
podcast card
all
for the
platforms,
Browns.
baby.
grab one of them too, buddy.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Super Browns.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like,
Ken
"Putting
Conley
beard
would be
oil on.
disappointed.
Beard oil all over me." Woke up this morning, put beard oil on. Now I was like, I don't have hair, so I just have to do the only hair on my face is my beard.
Lucky.
So, it's a great product, or all organic, all just oils that are natural, no chemicals, nothing other than just Mother Earth. Also, too, their soap is good. If you have dry skin like I do, I use their shampoo is great. It smells good. The conditioner is good. It makes it nice and soft. If you have a rough beard, use this product. It'll make it nice and soft where you can comb anything out, any snags, snarls, or snickles. Come around. I don't know what a snickle is. I just made it up.
It sounds good to
It's
me.
an S word. You got to add 3 S words. So snickle is in there.
SNICKEL.
Yeah,
Snickles.
Snickles.
Use
I got
Bearded
a
Brown.
snickle here stuck in my mouth from my mustache.
Use Bearded Browns at checkout. Save 10%. Also, $35 or more gives you free shipping. It's a win-win.
I'll tell you really quick what's a game changer too. I picked up about a week ago is an actual beard straightener, heated beard straightener, man.
We're manning up
If
to
you guys,
admit it. We
you
use
guys are out here. Yep, I am, and I told the wife. I said now it's going to take extra long
For
to
me
get
to-
going where we're going because I got to straighten my beard out and get my oils up. in
And
there.
here's a little tidbit. If you use a beard straightener with heat, apply your oil in 10 to 15 minutes before using. By that way, the heat does not dry out your beard. You're welcome.
Yeah.
free beard
You're welcome.
content advice here
I
at the
just
Bearded
did
Browns podcast.
I told the wife, I said when I was doing that, I had the oils in there. I said, man, it brings me back to my childhood when I had a wood burning kit. I'd be in my bedroom. I said, it just smells like good burnt wood in here, man.
See, even
It's that
James
Bradley
Frank,
stuff.
James Frank bought some beard gain stuff, and he says, keep my beard fluffy, soft, and my girl loves the smell. See, if you want a girl to love you more, there's nothing better than a nice scented beard.
There ain't nobody that loves my wife or loves me more.
Loves you wife more. No one loves my wife more than my beard. That smells good.
Sounds like you got to love yourself before you can love anybody else,
Yeah,
Mike,
so
right?
love yourself enough to have a good smelling beard. Nothing's worse than a coffee breathed beard, right? Or
Right.
bad breath beard.
Or last night's pizza cheese stuck in there with a
Or
pepperoni.
barbecue sauce beard that smells like teriyaki.
Yeah.
Right.
Or Miller Lite.
Or Miller Lite. Or puke from the Miller Lite. Either way, use
Delicious.
the-
Is it lunchtime yet, guys?
Beard Gains can help solve all those issues with that smell. Shout out to James for buying the
man.
product and using the code. Hugh said, I wouldn't mind Shador or Cam. I would put Cam over Shador, in my opinion. However, I'm wondering about Howard from Ohio State. I have a question for you. I know we just talked about this, but we're going to go back. Why was his pro day not good if only his 2 passes that were not counted were drops?
Because he's throwing to receivers that he's used to. Unlike the
But everyone from pro days do that, right?
most of them.
Most of them, but the combine is a bunch of different.
Wait, you're a
Random
Michigan guy.
people.
Forget about you. I'm just playing. Go ahead. No.
No,
Actually,
but
I would want your opinion because you're an outside perspective.
Right.
Go ahead.
the combine. Sorry,
No, go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say the combine is completely different than your pro day. Your pro day, you're still throwing the receivers that you played with all year. Combine is a bunch of random guys that are out there also looking for a job.
But if you're on the team you're throwing to every day, isn't that the same as throwing at your pro day?
I would imagine. Yeah, it has to be because that's what
So if he's horrible at, and I think this is where a lot of teams kind of lose like their, I know they went to Harvard, they're probably smarter than me, but they lose the logic of it. Like he's thrown 15 passes wrong during the combine, but looks good at his pro day. I'm going to take the pro day because he's familiar with these receivers. In 2 to 3 years, he's going to be familiar with Jerry Jeudy. He's going to be familiar with the next receiver. And he's throwing it on the money. I'm going to take him. Now, I'm not just saying that as Ohio State honk, but I'm just saying, like, let's not look too deep into that. And for some reason, why did he blame the Wolverines for his bad pro? Did you hear his comments, like the team up north? I think, to me, I didn't think he needed to say that. Like, dude, all right, they're in your head now. Like,
Right.
Like, I know that you lost, but you got the natty.
Right.
Be happy with that.
Yeah, that's already water under the bridge, man.
Yeah.
You should be already beyond that.
But I agree. I'm interested in Howard, and I like Dart. I take Dart over Howard, but it's just me.
Here's the funny thing is, if this was last year's draft, we're talking Quinn Ewers too. Like, what happened to that dude?
Yeah.
He done fell off the face of the earth.
Well, he went to the SEC.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
That'll
and think
do
about,
it.
That will
That's
do
all he
it.
did.
and think about. I mean, he got Texas to the playoffs 2 years
That's
in a
true.
row.
That's
but
true.
Like
He
they,
lost against Ohio State, who ended up winning the championship.
right, and then last year they lost to
He's
Washington.
actually one play away from winning, which is his fault, but that's
Well,
nonetheless.
and that's the thing. Think about it. The last 2 years, even against Washington, he
Yeah.
had a chance, a game-winning drive to win it, and he choked.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. If he would have came out last year, he would have went higher than when he
Right.
was. Yeah, I agree with that.
The same goes for Kyle McCord, man. I mean, you just rolled out, and then look what happens.
And he's a better quarterback in Syracuse with less talent,
Yeah.
as opposed to in Ohio State. Maybe he had that chip on his shoulder, thinking, "Well, they gave up on me. Now I have to prove myself," which is encouraging.
What
so
do we say to the people that say Syracuse didn't play anybody?
who did? Oh yeah, they
That-
didn't.
That's a
Did they?
fact.
I mean, I'm just saying for the people that would say
Well,
McCord.
I think they played Clemson and North Carolina.
ACC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So Pitt.
that's a valid point.
That's always a valid argument.
It's a valid argument.
Toughness of schedule is a real thing when you're coming out of the league or you're coming into the league.
Why
Yeah.
is the schedule always? It's like that every year. Or you guys played nobody all year, whether whoever you're a fan of, But, which it's going to change now with all the teams that they added to the Big Ten. It's going to make it stronger. But that's always seems to be the argument. Oh, you guys played nobody. Why is that?
I think because they don't like the Big Ten. I think the Big Ten. I think that the Big Ten's top loaded, right? You got Michigan, you have Ohio State, maybe not Oregon because Oregon's pretty solid, and that's about it.
I mean, USC if they get their
USC, they need to get better.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to be better than what they were.
Right.
But then again, it's only 1 year into the program, so we'll see what they do. But yeah, they should be solidified. So they'll give you 4. But SEC has like.
But you ever notice though, it's only a college thing. You don't really hear about the strength of schedule in the NFL though.
No, you don't.
It's just
Which is weird. That's a good point.
No, I brought it up this year because I think the Cleveland Browns schedule was tougher than normal. We were averaging, or we were thinking we were going to get what
11,
9 to 10, 11
yeah,
wins.
9 to 10 wins. Yeah, 11.
Well, we should have known when we lost to the Giants that it was all downhill.
That's when I knew the season was over.
Yeah.
When we
What
lost
week
to the
was
Giants the way we did, I was like, guys, it's going to be a long season.
So week
My
5,
11 wins is now 5.
It was 3, I think.
week 3, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
3. Yeah,
Hey,
3.
we had the best 11 seconds of Cleveland Browns football in that game, and unfortunately, it was with Deshaun Watson because
Yeah.
the kickoff they fumbled. We got the ball back at like the 20-something yard line, and Deshaun Watson threw a dime right to Amari Cooper in the end zone. That was the best 11 seconds you will see of gameplay this year.
The best.
That's it. All right.
And that was a fast offensive execution too. And we thought, man, this is going to be a great season. And then it lied to us. It was like
Yeah. Never
false
fails,
advertisement.
Being a Browns fan is getting kicked in the balls every season.
It is, man. And it's tougher. Actually, is it as tough? Not like eventually we're going to be like used to it, right? Used to the pain.
No, it's a Cleveland thing, dude. We're never used to it. We just
I'm numb to losing. Yeah, you can grab a couple of stickers, sir. Oh, why am I watching that? Sure, there it is. So yeah, you want to grab a couple of Browns? There's our Bearded Browns the business card. Sorry.
stickers.
Why can't I thank you? No, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
No problem. Stickers are cool. Who can pass up a good sticker, right? Yeah, man, grab as many as you want, my friend. Kids get 2. There you go.
Thank you.
No problem. I'm a sucker for kids.
So,
Man, like, how can you tell a kid no if he wants 2 stickers? He tried to be
Watch this.
sneaky with
No.
it. And then he's crying at his mom. He's like,
when they ask for 2 suckers, you got to have to give them 2
Yeah.
suckers.
yeah, poor kid.
Oh, look at that guy in a Bengals hat. Oh man.
Bengals.
He's got, it's a hoodie too. He's got the hoodie. I was waiting for him to say something.
Why did he? Is he gone? I didn't see it. I was paying attention to the
He's
kid.
over there. I'm
Okay.
keeping an eye on him.
Yes.
Uh,
There he is. Down yonder.
I don't think we got to worry about Bengals fans
Yeah,
so
you
much
better
as
walk
Steelers.
away. Oh,
well, he's coming back. That's right.
what you say?
I'm going to defend Burrow. So what if we have all our money on the offense and we're going to
Yeah, right.
suck on defense?
They still got to pay Trey Henderson. I don't think they're going to be able to do that.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Their best defensive player.
Did you see the T. Higgins deal though? Like they're not really. It's a year by year thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a
I
year.
didn't see
Like
the
if they,
details.
yeah. So I heard it on the radio, then I looked into it. Like his money's not guaranteed. So if they don't want to sign him, there's an out in his contract next year that he can go to a different team and get paid more, which is weird that he signed that. But at the same time, he's probably thinking like, I want to stay here and try to win. But at the same time, with that defense, how are you going to win?
Yeah, you're
I
not
don't
gonna win
know.
shit.
Weird.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. Because don't forget now they got that new defensive coordinator. They brought in Golden from Notre Dame.
Yeah, how did that work? Yeah, he was pretty good in it. Notre Dame's defense was pretty good. Their offense just wasn't too good. And
4
they-
year, 115 million.
Yeah, and I think I forgot how much is guaranteed. All that's not guaranteed. And it's by year. So if they sign them after a certain amount, like 35, 40 million is guaranteed.
That's
But
a
they
lot
don't
of
they don't
zeros,
keep
man.
them. They let them go that money. They don't have to pay them. So it's a good deal for Cincinnati. Horrible for T. Higgins. I don't know.
James Frank's comment is hilarious to me. He said, "Ask him how it'll feel to score 92 points and still lose by 2."
That's how it might be. Now they might look at beefing up in the draft because they have a lot of draft they can use defensive on, and it's a heavy draft this year. They can do defensive pass rusher. Jack Sawyer will be there in late round. Any Ohio State defensive player will be there when they pick
So what do you guys think is the strongest position in this draft? Like
defensive tackle.
Running backs.
Oh, running backs. I forgot about that. Yeah, running backs are deep.
We even had Stump Mitchell on a couple weeks ago, and he agreed this is probably one of the best running back classes in the draft in the last decade by far.
But if you don't want to do running backs, defensive tackles are pretty deep too. Like you can get a good one in the third round ish, if you want.
Yeah.
That's why like the Mason Graham dream of mine is kind of like dwindling because we've signed a couple already. One that we interviewed this past week, and you can probably get one in the second or third round that would be pretty decent.
That brings up the next comment. We still have yet to sign Nick Chubb.
No one has signed Nick Chubb.
Nobody has.
Neither have we.
Nobody.
Does that
Nobody
lead you to believe that possibly we're looking for somebody to draft? Because there's not a lot of free agent talent left out there, so I doubt we're going to pick up a free agent running back. Nick Chubb is going to have to sign here. I mean, you still try to draft somebody in the 3rd round, 4th round, maybe?
We're going to pick up a running back in this draft. I think that's all going to be too, how other teams are doing too, because they gave Nick free reign to go ahead and look for another home, and so far there's nobody knocking on the door. I'm a huge Nick Chubb fan. I actually think we owe the man a 1-year deal, just for what he's done for this for the city and for the organization.
With incentives, man. Come on. The guy came back.
You take care of your employees.
The guy came back, worked his ass off. We know that.
You take care.
We watched it.
You take care of your employee. I think once this draft goes through and things pan out and all that running backs get drafted, I think that we're going to be signing him to a 1-year deal here coming up.
Nick Chubb started showing signs of improvement before he broke his foot. He broke his foot that did not need any surgery whatsoever.
True.
Bring the guy back. Bring him back, 1-year deal with a ton of incentives to make his money.
I mean, to add context, Kareem Hunt got, 2 years? 1 year, 2 year, $2.5 million.
With the Chiefs, yeah.
With the Chiefs. So ideally, you can, and it is heavily incentive laden, obviously. I think it's $888,000 guaranteed. I think Nick Chubb is worth that.
Absolutely. Nick Chubb's getting to the point in his career too where
You guys want some stickers?
You plug him in where he needs to be plugged in at.
Free stickers at the booth. No, I agree.
Yeah, he's not going to be an every down back, but you pay him, you get him that 1-year deal, you get him out there on certain packages, and you let Nick be Nick.
And I think that's when you draft a young guy. You draft a young guy to kind of help, and he can kind of, grow in the system. Not again, we talked about the running back draft is deep. Mm-hmm. You can get a guy in the 3rd round, 4th round.
I think the running back draft class this year is better than the quarterback draft class. Honestly, that's me.
Yeah. It is, as far as options. Now, if the right quarterback goes into the right system, he might be good.
Yep.
My worst fear is the Rams getting Darts or Howard, because I think Miche is a quarterback whisperer, and he can turn anybody into amazing. Shout out to my brother Tyler from Chicago. He just said, "Go Browns."
Tyler, what's up,
How
Tyler?
many brothers do you have?
I'm half Hispanic, man.
Hey, don't you know how these Ortizes work out, brother? I got Ortizes. I asked my buddy the other day. I said, "You know an Angel Ortiz?" He goes, "Which
Probably.
one? Which one?" I know a bunch of Angel Ortizes.
Dude, I no lie. There's like 10 Angel Ortizes in my family alone.
Yeah.
I went to go after my grandma passed to help my grandfather move, and they're like, "That's Angel, that's Angel." I'm like, they said Angel. I'm like, what? They're like, no, that Angel. I'm like, what the heck? Like, how many angels are in this room? It's like the Spider-Man meme. We're just sitting there like
your Ortiz with your ethnicity. It's like a Smith or a Jackson. You got that Ortizes. There's a lot.
Yeah,
of
there's
Ortizes.
a lot. There's and my dad is Hispanic, and he just likes to have kids. So, and he continued after my mom. So I mean, he has 3 more out there in Chicago. Shout out to my dad, who just doesn't stop.
Contraceptives are not his friend.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I forgot my brother Tyler. He's actually in North Olmsted. He moved to Fairview.
Oh, you should be here.
Chicago. Yeah, you should be at the IX Center, Tyler.
Yeah, where you at, man?
You can be seeing these nice cars, by the way. Shout out to Redline for allowing us to come here and broadcasting live. You could have been, Tyler, you could be here looking at these cool cars, seeing these cool people. Anything with the piston is here. So come here. You still got time.
Angel's dad clearly has a piston.
Yeah, he does.
It just doesn't stop.
Doesn't stop. As a matter of fact, I think I have that gene. Like I told my wife, we have a 6-day-old. I'm like, dude, we need that.
Oh yeah, let's give Angel another congratulations on his
Yeah,
newborn baby
listen.
boy.
I'm gonna tell you,
Little Arlo.
having a kid at 43 is not the same at 33. I'm saying, I was up from 1 to about 3, 4 last night. Got 2 hours, 2-3 hours sleep. I told the guys we went out to Sips and such in Middleburg for breakfast, and I was like, I need an Americano and make it quick. So I needed not caffeine to stay awake, and they woke me up. A couple hours sleep, and we're trucking along here.
And then he ordered a red eye for his red eye.
A red eye coffee, which I shouldn't have, because afterwards I'm like, the Americano hit late. Because down here I'm like, all right, I'm ready to do a mile. And then sipping the other stuff, I realized I was about to get jittery, so I needed to chill. But that's a good restaurant. What did you guys order?
It was really good. I'm always a sausage biscuit gravy guy. Usually you go to anybody else, they'll give you like 2 biscuits. They'll give you the gravy. This was one ginormous biscuit that covered my whole plate, smothered in gravy. And I even ordered extra sausage patties to ground up in there and it was delicious. Yeah, hats off to that Sips and Such.
Alyssa was our server this morning. She was awesome.
Yep.
I was messing with her.
And she almost charged Mike every meal.
Yeah.
Because he's like, this guy's picking on me, so I'm just going to charge his bill for everybody. She's like, separate or together? We said separate. And Mike was like, put it on whatever card you think is cool or whatever card.
And then she brings back
She's
my
like,
card.
I charge it on you, bro. You can get a sticker.
Yeah,
Right.
buddy. You got some stickers over there?
But yeah, I did the chicken and
sticker,
waffles,
buddy.
really good. Sips and Such in Middleburg, really good food there. Good coffee. If you're into breakfast, it's really good.
Get into
Middleburg,
football?
right up the freeway there.
Grab a brown card here. Get that to your. Is that your dad?
We just got a couple of people
There you go.
interested. We're just gonna entertain
Stuff, man.
the people
For a
coming
live
around the booth.
podcast, Browns, talk about Browns football.
Sam's doing some advertisement
You
for us.
flip the card around. We got a QR code. That'll take
Welcome
you
to
all
live
of our links.
Live
podcasting, boys.
podcasting.
You can keep up
But
with
we
us
do
on Facebook,
advertising
YouTube,
/
Twitter.
talking Browns
Do it
at the
all.
same time. Do it all. But yeah, so
a good
Sips
one.
and Such Social in Middleburg, really good food. Go there. Who's the waitress's name again?
Alyssa.
Alyssa. Ask for Alyssa. Tell her that the 3 guys with the beards. Ask for her by name. She's a good waitress, man. She
Yeah,
put
she
up
was
with
good
our
waitress.
humor.
Sam left our business cards in the bathroom, our normal thing.
Yeah, I lost my virginity to that. These guys been putting these Browns podcast cards in bathrooms. I haven't yet, so I
What
was
did you do?
sitting
Put
there.
them in the urinal?
Literally. No,
This place had a 5-star bathroom. They had a little fake plant in there. They had actual like 3x3 tiles in there. I'm like, man, I could just kind of fucking hang
it
out
was
here.
very relaxing. I felt
It's
like
a
I was
nice
in the
bathroom.
felt like I was in the therapy room.
Yeah, I didn't
And I
feel
went-
like I was in a insane white bathroom where you're just sitting there like, oh, I gotta get the hell out of here. It was a nice bathroom.
Like we could have held hands underneath the
Yeah.
fish together.
Hey, you see this? You got to your left, you have a woman walking around with a random steering wheel in her hand.
She took it from her husband. Like, your drunk
Yeah.
ass ain't driving. I'm gonna take the
I
wheel.
didn't see no handcuffs, so I guess that's a
Jesus-
good sign.
Yeah.
Jesus didn't take the wheel. The
I'm
wife took
taking
it.
100%.
She
She's
forgot
like,
her piston.
I'm running this relationship, and I'm literally showing the world that I'm driving. I'm the driving force behind this relationship. Sips and Such.
The random things you see when you do a live podcast.
Absolutely,
man.
absolutely. I've been watching. I've been peeping. I'm a big people watcher, man. I do commercial roofing. There's a lot of times I'll be on a high roof, man. I do big jobs. I don't want to come down for lunch. I'll stay up on the roof, man. And sometimes I'll just eat lunch and just watch people, man. It's amazing what you will see, especially
Sam-
around the West 55th area.
Sam's a man's man. He eats with his hands are dirty. He eats the tar that he slathers the roofing on.
Remind me to tell you guys a story. I'm not going to share it on here, but I will share an East 55th story or a West 55th story roofing for you guys.
We
It'll-
need to do a roofing with Sam segment where you
It'll
just share
be-
stories.
Right. I got plenty of them. I'm 30 years in the business.
He can do his roofing with Sam and Chromes with
Chromes,
Sam.
I told these guys, well, you guys brought it up, so I'm going to go there. I had a Crohn's flare up 3 weeks ago, and I've been
There we go.
dealing with it.
The best thing
They
was
keep
that
teasing
live?
me about this.
Was
They
it-
keep teasing me about this.
Was
But
it-
I made a comment this morning while I was in that beautiful bathroom with the fake plant and left our business cards down there. I said, man, you know what? I should just get an app and start just rating bathrooms.
Facts.
And I got it, man. I got it. Got 5-star bathrooms. You got bathrooms you don't even want to sit on the toilet in.
Sam literally takes the Browns to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
We've won many championships in the last 3 weeks. Probably over 250.
yeah. James, this chain is brought to you by Mike. Adam, sorry. It's actually a pretty cool chain. He let me wear it. Shout out. He said he got it from the mall. Oh, Strongsville Mall, right? Yeah, I lived
I
there.
don't know if they can see that. You can see the side of it. You know what I'm saying? But they haven't seen the lucha mask yet.
Oh,
The luchador. Got a
Oh,
luchador
yeah.
mask. Brown's
Luchador.
luchador mask here.
This
Check
is
thing
another
out. Pretty dope.
mask.
Pretty dope.
I would
Uh,
put this thing on.
Mike tried not to put it on. He'll stretch it out with his big head.
I will, man. There it is.
It's actually pretty cool.
This thing will not fit my head, dude. There's no way this thing will fit my head.
No.
It'll look like a
Yeah.
yarmulke.
He'll rip the stitches out.
Why is Mike wearing a Browns yarmulke?
It's got a B on it. What is a B?
Oh,
But yeah, we're gonna develop an app for Sam Sam's Chromes. He's going to rate bathrooms.
Yep, I'll get you to the best spots, man. I'll make sure you are linked up with the best, most comfortable toilet paper and the best bathrooms around the area.
Might fall asleep in the bathroom. If it's 5-star, it means you can fall asleep.
Yeah, none of that single ply crap.
We ain't poking no fingers through no toilet papers around
You know
here.
what, dude? You want to hear a funny story? Sorry.
No, you go.
There was a shop that we used to tow for, and this lady, I walked in there, and she was like, Mike, have you ever heard anything like this? I'm like, what? She's like, this guy's name is thumbbutter@gmail.com. I'm like, thumbbutter? I'm sitting there thinking, and I looked it up, and I was like, oh my gosh. You really want me to tell you what thumbbutter is?
Bro.
Sure.
No,
We are a family show.
I'm not telling everybody else.
Well,
We
you
are
see what
family
happens
show.
every
Use
time
your
we bring up my Crohn's with the show. We got to. Now we're on thumb butter.
Hey,
What
James.
the hell just happened?
James said, "Hey, I'm right there with you, bro. I got to go to the doc to see what's going on."
Hey, man, I'm all about.
Emoji game.
I've been dealing with stuff since I've been about 18,
Poop
man.
gang turns up.
Dude, I think it was fun. Was that on the show? We were talking about that. We was like, "Don't bring it up," and we ended up bringing it up anyway. Was that
Yeah,
before the
5
show?
minutes later.
That's kind of the thing you don't do in this business is tell them not to talk about something because
Yeah.
that's giving them free reign to
Yeah,
talk about.
we were
Yeah.
on the phone with
Adam knows what's up.
We had Ralph Holly on.
Ralph, and we said, "Let's not bring it up." And Sam was like, "So,
Hey,
my-
Ralph, by the way, I got Crohn's, man. It's crazy. Very debilitating. It's crazy. I've been in the bathroom so much this week.
we need to get this dude a
What's your
shirt that
favorite?
says, I got
Where's your favorite
Crohn's."
place to eat? Hey, what? Wait a minute. What?
Yeah, you guys can find that on our store here soon. It's going to be a shirt that's got Sam's face on it. It says, I got Crohn's.
I got Crohn's. Got
I
milk.
got Crohn's on
I got
it.
Crohn's, and I'm proud of it.
Instead of got milk, got Crohn's.
I got Crohn's on it. I
Oh,
got 5 on
I
it.
got Crohn's. I wish that upon nobody. I'm actually coming up past that, man. I can't wait to get back to myself.
So what are you going to do, Sam? You're going to have like a weekly at the end of the shows. You guys
Yes.
do? You're going to have like a top 5 toilet paper. You know, this week I used this one. This is the top of the line. You know,
That might be beneficial.
Yeah, I mean, everybody needs
Maybe
to know
we
where a
could
good bathroom's at,
Get a toilet paper sponsor.
especially a roofer, because you don't always have access all the time. You got to kind of make things work. 5-gallon buckets work wonders.
How many stories have you dropped?
Yikes.
Not a lot. Not a lot. No.
This is fitting, considering.
All right.
All right.
Let's get on to
So-
some free agent stuff.
so
You guys did that.
Thoughts on the it's true, we did do that. Thoughts on the recent free agent pickups, Mike? Drop the knowledge of our thoughts. What are our thoughts on the free agent pickups?
As a free agency right now, there's not much left. So I'm going to say with what we got, we've worked out some of the positions needed. We filled some of the positions needed. The first one was offensive guard, Tevin Jenkins. Andrew Berry showed up this time, and he got us some offensive guard help, which is needed. You could be rotating these guys in and out, which obviously needs help because our offensive line is getting older. They're not getting any younger. So I think with adding depth to the offensive line is going to help. The downfall with Jenkins is he did have some rough patches in his career with injuries. So
Yeah.
he's missed 22 games because of it. But show some promise as a rotational guy possibly for the offensive line. Then we got Cornelius Lucas, offensive tackle, a former commander. Signed him to a 2-year deal. Again, that's help with that offensive line. Jack Conklin can be shifted in and out so he doesn't get hurt because you know how Jack Conklin is. Unfortunately, he's seemed to be injury prone until last year when he came back. He actually stayed pretty healthy for the rest of the remainder of the season.
You did?
So that was a huge help. Joe Tyron Shoyinka, outside linebacker, with the unknown of JOK coming back or not. This, I think, is going to be a crucial pickup. I wish we had some news on JOK. Unfortunately, even with the ties that we do have with talking to people from the organization or other writers and such, like Barry Shuck, we've gotten
Nothing.
It's
Nothing.
mum's the word, man.
And the good about Joe here is that he's a pass rusher. I don't know if you guys heard his press conference. He's excited. He kept on using the words, pin his ear back and get to the quarterback. So I think having somebody to come in as a breather for Miles when Miles needs a break, to have somebody get the quarterback consistently other than Miles or even McGuire or even if it's Abdul Carter, get it at the quarterback other than your top two could be beneficial, especially if, someone's having little injuries issues and can't be at 100%.
Facts.
I want to touch on real quick. I mean, last year going into the season, our offensive line was already hurt, banged up. They had a new coach at the time. I think we're going to see a night and day change on this offensive line coming up this year with these guys being healthy, the veterans coming back we do, and adding the pieces that they're adding to that offensive line. Now it's just who's going to throw the ball. That's where I'm at. I think that it's going to be night and day offensive line from the beginning of last season. They had a rough. I'd say 4, 5, 6, 8 games was rough for that line.
Donald said it's Sunday. What happened to Renegade Show with Chipper?
Oh.
Who?
Chipper is
Sorry.
not in the building.
Chipper been chipped.
Chipper's eating a bottle of stadium mustard by himself in his bathroom.
Chipper's with the spoon.
With the spoon.
With the spoon. My brother Tyler asks, do you guys have podcasts on Spotify? Yes, our podcast is on every form of podcast imaginable. Even the ones you haven't heard of, we're on there. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can follow us on there. Also YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, iHeartRadio, all that stuff.
We get around like Angel's dad.
I get around.
I mean, my brother Tyler can tell you that. Yeah, so that was a funny comment. Those Puerto Ricans get around, man.
He's beating it
Hey
up like
man,
a
you
pinata.
know what I like? You know what I like about us? We find one little chink in the armor and we just start tearing it apart.
That's what we do.
Tearing it apart.
I would say shots fired, but that leaves the door wide open again.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it does.
Right.
You know, it's,
You got
He's got saran wrap.
Yeah. You got one little tear in your armor. We will find it and we will rip it apart.
Why is it when I think of like Angel talking about his dad now, it's always that you got to lick it before you stick it.
Dad, sorry. I don't even know if he knows what a podcast is, but if you are, it's not my doing.
Oh man! All right.
So
let's
back on the free agency. Off my dad.
see what happens when you give us 3 hours.
Stop talking about my dad, man.
So, all right. We did sign linebacker Devin Bush to another 1-year deal, which is great.
Yeah, he had a good season last year for the Browns. Yes.
I hope him and Jim Schwartz find the common denominator that was with this defense this year. There was something wrong with the defense this year. Nobody meshed, it seemed like. I think bringing Devin Bush back in here as the
Can we get Devin Bush to go and do what he did at Michigan State Stadium to the Steelers logo? Maybe that'll put some pep in these guys and light a fire under their ass.
yeah, that'd be great, but we'll see. I mean, Devin Bush was the one that showed up last year, had a lot of phenomenal plays, was always in a play. Like you always saw him there, always. Again, without JOK, we don't know what's going to happen. So that is another crucial signing for the Cleveland Browns. We picked up Malik Collins from the 49ers on a 2-year deal, defensive tackle from the 49ers.
Yeah, I think that was a secretly good signing.
Yeah.
I think the PFS scores on him are pretty high.
He's not as stout as everybody else is. But again, that's those little guys like Ralph Holley was telling us. He's like, everybody wanted to talk about my size, but he's like, I may not be as big as these guys, but I'm more elusive. I'm able to move faster than these guys. They may be big, but all I got to do is chip them and get out of the way, and then I'm there. So I think bringing in a smaller guy could possibly help unless you got these guys getting pancaked on the line. But I don't think that's going to happen. Malik Collins is actually a proven player. So, and Jim Schwartz values Collins.
Yeah, he's under 3. I've seen a trend here. Defensive tackles, the Browns seem to like guys 300 or under. Because
that's what it seems.
Holly's 300. So they want guys that are
You
fast.
want that guy. You want that guy to plug that, man. You don't want them.
Yeah,
You want to be able. You want one of those guys, even like your big running backs. You want that guy to if he can get one big arm out there and that's it. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that undersized guy up there.
Collins has
You got a Derrick Henry running at you. You got to have to put him down. You bring that big 300-pounder up there. You pick him up and you slam it.
Malik Collins has the highest pass rush win rate at 12.7.
Yep.
As an interior defender.
You can have sticker.
Help yourself, buddy. DeAndre Carter, a wide receiver, which is another crucial part we're going to need to after we get a quarterback, you're going to have to figure out which one of these receivers you're going to put out there with Jerry Jeudy.
Yep.
Clearly, Jerry Judy's the number one now. That goes without saying. Now that Amari Cooper's gone, there's no argument about that. The former Chicago Bear, joins Cleveland Browns for another 1-year deal. And we're doing a lot of these 1-year deals, so we're going to be able to see these guys. They're going to play these guys this year. That goes without saying. You're going to see these guys, whether it be another rotational guy or what. They're going to be out there.
Yeah, the only issue I'm a little worried about him is I'm hoping he doesn't take a wide receiver spot because I don't know how good he's going to be, and we need help at wide receiver. I'm just hoping he sticks at punt return / special teams, but we'll see how the roster pans out after free agency and into when the season starts.
And I am still, speaking of wide receivers, I'm still really excited to see Jamari Thrash this year.
Thrash,
that guy is going to be, that guy is going to be something. He's that diamond in the rough, man, that I'm talking about.
And you need to be able to find a guy that can throw deep like a dart, like Shedeur has a good deep ball, Cam Ward, to give him opportunities to go long, because that's where his expertise is, like where he excels at, I should say. Another thing I want to point out too, if you notice these signings, you're getting 2 offensive linemen, 2 linebackers, or 3 linebackers for 2 linebackers for and then 2 defensive linemen, because if you put in Holly in there too, because he came from the CFL. Browns are getting, this is the analytical way. You get more for the price of what you would get 1 guy for, right? So you hope if I get 2 for the price of 1 of these guys are going to pan out on this 1-year deal, and he'll fit well in our system, and then we can sign him long term. So I think this is the analytical, like when people say analytics suck, this is where analytics are good at. They give you more for less, and whoever pans out, if not, it's only $800,000. It's not big. You don't break the bank. We just find another guy next year. We can sign a 1-year deal with, hoping to find a diamond in the rough, like you say, and then sign him long term.
Right, definitely a way to leak out a bad pickup and not spend a bunch of money. So, gotcha.
Yeah, it seems like we're filling some of the much needed spots that needed to be filled on this roster, just in free agency. I wish we could have done more, but there's really not that much out there that I don't think would mesh well with the Browns defense, especially because that's a whole nother realm of the Browns defense is a whole nother realm of defense in this league. I believe last year, not so much, but I think, like I said, Greg Schwartz coming out this year has to have his head on his shoulders. He's got to be ready. You can't be afraid to blitz. You can't, especially if you're going to pick up somebody like Abdul Carter and you're going to have Myles Garrett double, triple team.
So you can rush for.
Use that guy.
You're getting smaller guys that can rush the quarterback, so you can rush for and drop the rest. Like it's the Philly way, right? Philly's done that. They won the Super Bowl by rushing for and dropping in coverage, which stopped Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, the blitz package, blitz packages change up once you do that. Like I see what you're saying. You get that smaller, quick, old school Freeney, Dwight Freeney in there, and let him spin around and be a nuisance. Even sometimes if the guy's, as long as he's being a nuisance, then it's something else they got to focus on. And like you say, they're always double and triple teaming Myles. It's going to open doors for this line. I think this defensive line coming up is going to be one of the best we've seen with these Browns in a while.
Yeah, the question was just asked by James. So do we really need a receiver? Because Thrash would probably be a dog in Tillman. Yes, you need a receiver. Yeah. You always need. One thing I love about Barry is that he has this thought that we are always an expansion team because we're looking for talent to accumulate talent. Huh?
Somebody yelled "Go
Browns." I was looking around, make sure we engage with everybody.
You have to accumulate talent. You always want better talent. So I hope they get a receiver because you might find somebody better than who you have on the roster. And there's a lot of, whenever you talk about the receiver depth, that probably not just depth but will fall because there's so many other needs in the first round that can fall to you in the 3rd, 4th round pick that could be first round talent. Maybe that's going to be an episode we can do in the coming episodes of what receivers people aren't talking about, like we did these quarterbacks, because I do think receiver is still a need. Is it like more important than the quarterback or offensive lineman? Probably not.
Oh, you know,
it's still a need.
They're picking up somebody. They're going to pick up a receiver in this draft.
You always need receivers.
Yes, that just goes.
Just like quarterbacks.
Yeah, it goes. And
running backs.
Yeah.
Defensive tackles, offensive linemen.
Left tackles.
The more you have, the better you are.
Yeah.
Tight ends.
Let's talk about tight ends.
Yeah.
Let's talk about tight ends.
Let's talk about tight ends real quick. Are you
Angel's
guys
dad
comfortable?
has a tight end.
Are you comfortable with just having David Njoku as your tight end?
No, we did sign Blake.
Go ahead.
Blake Whiteheart is signed on a tender, which we signed somebody else as well. And
write it down, and I didn't get to it.
Yeah, I didn't write that part down either. But we did sign
It's like
somebody
two
else.
more guys that are still on the roster.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
think I had it pulled up.
my issue with David is what was talked about in the beginning of last season when we had Barry Shuck on. He talked about Davis Njoku's inconsistency of playing due to injury, right? So I'm trying to pull this up now. His history, injury history. We talked about this during breakfast, which was really good, by the way.
He's got stone hands at times too.
Yeah, he does.
That's what's funny about David, man. You'll watch him make like the immaculate catch.
Three people
and
draped on him.
somersault. He'll somersault into the catch, and then you hit him over the middle, man, and it's just that little fluff ball. And I think he's already thinking 15 yards, man, and then he drops that ball.
It almost seems like it's like the higher the odds of him making the catch, he's better at than you like.
Right, yeah. The difficulty catches, he's got him, man, for sure.
Gage said, Mike, this isn't fair. I'm here slaving on a Sunday while you get to sit down and talk about the Browns. You're fired.
Where is he? That's my boss's son.
Oh, that's your boss's son. Sorry, man. You pulled the short straw this week. So let's talk about, David's hands, I think, improved, but he does have, it's inconsistent at times. I agree with that. But his injury history is more concerning to me. Since 2017, this has been his injury issues since he's been drafted. He missed some camp with a lower back pull sprain, one exhibition game with a lower back issue. Week 10, he had a wrist injury during week 2 in the win over the Jets. He was placed on missed 10 games, placed on injured reserve. In 2019, had concussion week 2 against the Jets when he hurt his wrist. 2022, week 2, he left the game in a walking boot and crutches, high ankle sprain, grade 3. And 2022, week 1, he strained his unspecific strain, another injury issue. David injured his ankle. In last year, it was a grade 3 high ankle sprain. Week 1, left in a walking boot. Grade 1, week 5, knee injury, and in week 5, lost to the Commanders. And also too, let's not talk about he had burns to his face, which he actually played through, which is superhuman like anyways. So he has a list of injuries that will miss games, long periods of time, 2, 3, 4 games. So you need somebody to be there. So I think tight end. That's why when he said, do you need a receiver? Like, I think you put tight end over receiver in the draft.
Yeah.
So right now we have 4 tight ends on our roster. We have Brendan Bates, Trey McKitty. Yes, his name is McKitty. David Njoku and Blake Whiteheart. And if you guys remember that snow game,
Blake Whiteheart had an amazing catch.
Yeah, he was showing some stuff, man. I kind of like to see some more.
And he's more of a Kevin tight end too. He can catch, he can block.
Right.
And
that tight end position, man, especially when you're the size and stature of like a Njoku. I watch that guy when he catches the ball. Them dudes are trying to hurt him.
Yeah.
And it seems to me with David, you watch some of these other tight ends, when they see these guys closing in, they kind of know how to shed, or they kind of know how to protect themselves a little better, as to where David's just big-bodied and out there and doesn't seem like he protects himself that much. I think that leads to some of these injuries that he's having.
No, that's the other issue. Like everybody says, he drops passes. He'll drop the easiest wide-open pass right out of numbers, and he will catch the highly contested pass every single time. I don't get it. I'm like, dude, how do you battle with yourself, your own demons, dude? What is going on where you're catching the ball only when it's seriously highly contested? Other than that, you can't catch a wide open pass.
I want to touch on a comment. Ron Rado says, if Chief would just run through people instead of hurling them, it's all good. Pro Bowl player. Yeah, stay on your feet, man. Quit going airborne.
Well, he'd probably fumble then.
Yeah, right. It's never, I was always told, don't leave your feet. You leave your feet, you're asking for trouble.
I mean, you got to get those highly contested passes. That's what he does. He'll jump up and he'll grab the ball right out of midair.
Well, I'm saying when somebody's trying to come down and tackle you, when somebody's trying to come make that tackle, you don't have to try to go Olympic hurdle on them. Smash through them.
Look at Dave.
Yeah, Ron says Kevin excels with 2 tight ends, and I think since he has control of the offense now, look for that important tight end to be drafted this year, maybe before round 3. There's a couple out there that maybe we can even do a show on that alone, because there's maybe 5 tight ends. Helm from Texas comes off the top of my head right now. The guy from tight end, Ferguson from Oregon, comes off the top of my head. Miami's tight end, who's raising during his pro day, comes off the top of my head. What was his name?
Royal.
Yeah, Royal comes off the top of my head, who's talented, and they have history with Miami tight ends. The Browns do. Njoku, Winslow, Jr. So look for that to happen in this past draft.
You forgot a couple of them.
Who?
You forgot Loveland.
Loveland. Yeah, Loveland.
That's a Michigan guy.
Loveland would be good.
He is
Warren, but I don't think Warren will be there because he's a high.
Right, but the one for some odd reason I keep hearing the Browns connected to is the kid out of
Bowling Green.
Fanning, I think.
Oh,
Fanning,
Stark County, Ohio boy.
He's local, kind of local guy. He is local guy.
I did notice Andrew Berry does like to do that, bringing these Ohio boys back.
Yeah, with the kid from Ohio State,
Um,
Jerome Baker.
Jerome Baker,
yeah, Jerome Baker. That's a
that
good
guy's looking
signing.
promising, man. I can't wait to see that guy on the field. I want to get him on the show as well. I'm going to work on that one.
I would like to get anybody on the show that
We actually have some things in the works we are actually working on. We are not going to divulge anything at the moment, but there are going to be more
They're not
guest appearances by former and current Browns players.
new. Yeah. So that's going to be fun to see in the future what happens with the podcast. But
Yeah, we got a lot coming up.
yeah, we got a lot coming up. Sorry, I'm looking at these men with beards, and I'm like, man, they should be on the show right now. We just interview how the heck you get a good beard. So next topic: numerous of Browns players think the Browns can be contenders this year. What do they mean by contenders? Do they mean contend for the division?
It means they're going to win more than 3 games this year.
Yeah. Do they
That's
mean?
that's all I want. Win more than 3 games and turn it around a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm
Can they win more than 3 games?
not looking for a Super Bowl. It's not going to
What's
happen.
our realistic number? 7.
7.
It depends how.
6, 7.
It's a great question, Adam. It depends how
What
they
does
do
Vegas
this. It
say?
depends what they do in this draft and who they bring in here. That's going to dictate
What
wins
does
or
Vegas
loss.
say?
What does Vegas? Because Vegas seems to be right a lot. I'm learning.
No,
They
just
said
saying.
8 games, and
what
they
happens
changed
in
it.
Vegas stays in Vegas.
They
We
said
don't worry about
8.
Vegas.
I said 11. In the beginning of the year, they said 8. I was like, no, they'll win more than 8. And then they dropped it to below 5 after the New York game. I was like, oh crap, we're gonna be screwed.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, yeah, it's done. Yeah. So Webster's. My dad just gave me a Webster Slaughter and Ozzie Newsome signed pictures. Wow, that's really. Those are the talents that we need.
Yeah,
A Webster Slaughter and Ozzie Newsome.
Yeah,
1-2
those were the days,
punch
man.
on the
That's-
outside.
That's my football. You're talking. That was my Browns. Those were my banners hanging in my room. 1989. You got the Cozars. That's where the dog pound originated. Frank Minifield.
Yeah, Sam's social security number is 7.
Yeah.
I remember when Jim Brown was running that ball.
Look here, you little shit.
Ron says, just play meaningful games. This is where I'm at. I would like for them to play meaningful games in December and in January.
I would be happy, guys, to see 500 ball after last season. I'm cool with that. I'm not having big expectations coming into this season, but I would. Hey, you know what? If we get to that 500 mark and go over, that's a blessing to me.
Facts.
You know, honestly, guys, every year that the Browns come out with this big hype, and I hope they don't try to do it this year after last year. I am not getting too hyped up about this year. I'm going to be once the season starts. But
You'll be hyped until the draft night, and then when they piss you off about who they drafted, then you're just gonna be like, screw it, I'm done.
probably, and then we'll watch. We'll win it all this year.
That's how it normally goes. When you have low hopes, they give you high hopes, just to give you low hopes the next
That's what
year.
I try to do. Is what
Yeah.
I'm saying is I try to set myself up for failure.
Every time.
Like I just know we're going to fail, so just get hyped up in the beginning, and then just slowly lose all that hype throughout the year. So you're not so ashamed of yourself. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Just deal with it.
Yep. No more crying in the shower.
So
Yeah.
we just talked about David Njoku. So do we think the Browns should extend his contract because it ends at the end of this year?
Yes, they should extend it, but I don't think it should. And I don't think it should be a big package, a big money dollar sign.
No.
I think they got to keep him comfortable, but do not go over. Don't make it a big money drop. I don't think that it's going to help the Browns at all. It'll put you in. It'll put you in some problems later down the line.
I would say 2 years, maybe. He's making $14 million a year right now, I believe. or 13.5.
So what is the highest paid tight end currently? Who is the highest paid?
Probably
tight end?
Kelsey.
Kelsey?
Probably.
Or I thought Laporta was.
It might be Laporta.
Yeah, that's right. I think, because now everybody needs to be paid more than the next guy. I forgot.
Yeah.
No, it's Kelsey. Well, this might be out. Yeah, it's updated. Is this updated? Why is Kelsey? So, didn't they just pay Kelsey? That's probably why he's high. Yeah, I think they just paid him. My gosh, give me the answer, not pop-ups.
It's Travis Kelsey.
Yeah, it's Travis Kelsey, but I'm trying to see the list. There we go.
17.1 million. It looks
So
like.
right now, David's number 8 on the list. So you got Travis at 17.1, Waller 17 mil. Could have been Hawkinson from Hawkinson from the tight end from Vikings 16 mil. Kittle 15 mil. So you're going to have to pay him 15 to 17. Do you pay him Kelsey money or do you pay him Kittle money?
He's not going to get Kelsey money. Kelsey is 35 years old. We had this conversation earlier. He's 35 years old. Njoku's coming into his 30s.
29. Yeah, he'll be 30 in July.
Yeah, he'll be 30 in July. So
now, question: he has injury history. He's getting older.
Yeah,
Browns tend to not pay people at the 30 anyways. Right. So I would say a 2-3 year deal ideally was what they probably would look at.
I'd say maybe $2 million.
Especially if they draft somebody, then you start to wonder are they going to pay him 2 to 3 years?
Right.
Keep him where he's at now, 2 years, $13.5 million.
Yeah, I think he's going to want more than 13. I think he's going to get in that top 5. So you're going to have to pay him 15
he's
to
not
16.
A top 5 tight end.
Well, that's the thing, and you're hitting the nail on the head, Mike. So, I am a fan. I like David Njoku, but if he's going to start pushing for more money, man, I'm going to say it now, man. Go out, see better future in your
If he
your
stays
NFL
healthy,
play.
Is he a top 5 tight end now?
No.
He doesn't
think
stay
so?
healthy. That's the thing, man.
You think so?
If he can stay healthy, then
I
you
think
give him
so.
the extension. If he doesn't, then it's something you got to think about across that
Yeah.
bridge when it comes to it.
Right.
You got
I
Blake
think he could
Whitehart.
be a top 5 tight end if he stays healthy. My issue is with him, even though he drops the ball and he's improved on it. Obviously, we talked about that. I think he just needs to stay. I would be more worried. I wouldn't be worried paying him as a top 5 tight end. I'll be worried about paying him and he's not on the field while paying him top 5 tight end money.
That's what I don't think he should get the top tier money on that. They should keep him at like a mediocre couple years and give him what he's already got, like Mike said, just to keep him there. If he wants to go ahead and then start looking around, it's not enough and it's a money game. I'm sorry, but bye, David.
Yeah, you'll definitely have to draft the guy then to have him an exit out for sure.
Not only that, we don't really have much more money to give
Right.
to a subpar tight end.
Ah.
I don't want to say subpar.
Yeah, I was going to
He's
say
better than-
subpar is a tough word.
I'll give him better than subpar.
Yeah, I think he's above average. He's not Kelsey. He's not Hawkinson or Hickson, whatever his name. Hawkinson. I do think he's there. He's 3 to 5. I think 3 to 5.
I think he's lower on that
Maybe
5,
6.
on that 5-6.
Yeah, 5-6.
Yeah, on the totem pole.
Now, if he was here, I would say he was number 1.
Oh, absolutely. Come on, sit down. Let's
He's
talk
on
about
that
it.
show.
Yeah, bro. Watch him come around the corner. I
He's
heard
like,
it. I heard it.
I heard you say I'm not a top. I'm like, no, you are.
Sam just came out of the bathroom, got 2 black eyes. What happened? David Njoku beat me up in the bathroom, man.
So, let's get into positions of need. Obviously, we all know that we need a quarterback. We need a safety, which is no one's talking about, by the way, that we need a safety because we got rid of one retired, McLeod retired, and Thornhill is wearing black and gold.
I'm hoping we are cornerback over here. I'm hoping Martin Emerson comes back to life.
Yeah, he had a second year.
That was a tough. That was a tough sophomore slump. Hopefully, he can come up out of that, man.
Hopefully,
because
hopefully
we need that.
teams did not see how horrible his weaknesses were during the offseason and exploited it. Hopefully, he adjusts and has a good third year. Because I was big on MJ, man. I hope he gets back.
I still am. Like I said, he had that slump. I want to see him pull out of that.
I agree. So you need safety, a linebacker, and a left tackle, according to the experts.
That was me.
Oh, that was you. Which is right, according to the experts.
There you go.
Do you guys got anything over there? Do you think that is fitting for the Browns right now?
You should pay Jed Wills a lot of money.
I will punch you in the face.
Sorry, he's been hired by Cedar Point to be a turnstile.
Yeah.
At this point, you wonder if they're going to try to. I don't know if that relationship's good. That they're going to leave.
I hope not.
He's probably one of those people that after the draft he's going to sign with somebody because the team that didn't get an offensive lineman might be like, "Well, we're going to need you here on a 1-year deal." But
I've seen enough of that experiment too. I'm done with that.
It's Andrew Berry's draft pick. He's not going to let it go.
so you think he'll come back on a 1-year deal?
I think so, and then hopefully the Browns will make a business decision and let him go.
Pay him minimal and have him shining helmets on the sideline.
Yeah, if you want to make anyone make a business decision for you, do not let Jed Wills because he would not. He went in all in, and then he just hurt his stock totally last year. Not playing. Now maybe he was injured to the point where he just couldn't play, and it seemed like that. Like he was worse being injured, and maybe he saw that and he thought, I don't bring value to that. Which, if that's the case, maybe I do add some respect to it a little bit more, but.
What do the fans think? I mean, what do you guys think about Jed Wills coming back? It's his last year.
Yeah. As a fan, I think you might need him to come back for depth purposes.
You could grab somebody in a free agency that depth-wise that'll be just as good as him, I think. I don't think Jed Wills is an elite player. I don't think he's ever going to be what he was supposed to be.
Yeah, because was called Warts. Wirfs there that you could have drafted, but instead they drafted him, which was a huge miss because now he just signed the contract extension and he's balling in Tampa, making Baker look even better, protecting his blind side, which is insane to even think about.
That's another thing you got to look at. All these quarterbacks that we're looking at are right-hand guys. So left tackle is a key position that needs to be filled with a guy that could actually block.
You always talk about that blind spot, Mike.
Yeah, the blind side, man. You don't want a guy rushing at you and smashing your quarterbacks. You just don't.
Yeah, a left tackle is a need. Maybe they can draft one later. This is a huge offensive line draft also. Problem is you don't want to wait too long. Then you get a Delavdova for some reason. Delavmental guy. Where you have to develop them, and then you're kind of running to Zinter again. Like you have to wait a year to even play him, or wait 3 or 4 games to even put him in to see if he's good enough. And if you roll the dice and miss on this guy, then you're like, crap. I can't draft an offensive guy to save my life.
Get an offensive tackle sooner than later for a plug-in fit type. You know what I'm saying? You could almost plug them in. I mean, we got the guys we got, but when they go down, it's next man up. You're going to want a really good guy young guy to be there. I mean, all of our line guys are getting older, bro. Our veterans are getting older, so that's something that's going to have to be a turn of the sheets too, man. We got to start looking for some young blood up in there on that offensive line.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Like with this team, like you can't fix it all in one draft. You know, unfortunately, you can't. A lot of people say we draft one. It's like, man, you only have like 12 draft picks. Like you can't draft every position, especially later. Like. Right. Can you find a lineman in the 7th round? Maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
I mean, we saw DeJuan Jones do it.
Yeah.
You saw Zach Zinter get moved around on the line to figure out where he'd be best played at. But he's best at guard and center. That's what he's known to play. So keep him there. That's his job. I hate when we try to move other guys around in other positions. It just we got lucky with DeJuan Jones, Thanos playing left tackle.
Right. He's there for protection. Like I miss when we had that good running game going on, I missed a lot of them pulling and pushing and riding out, breaking out. And then he's falling around with that block on the outside and break them outside runs. But I don't see that no more. And we're missing that. I think that's something that they got to get back to. It worked. Go back to what worked. And if they found anything out, they know last year what did it, obviously. So.
Yeah,
they would get Teller out there. I'd see him out there. I'm like, well, wherever he's going, he's definitely going to give you he's going to crack the shit out of somebody, and that running back's going to be able to take it.
Yeah, 100%. James said, how about Shiloh Sanders as safety? He would be a late round, I would assume maybe 5th, 6th round guy.
Diamond in the rough guy.
And you can pair him with his brother and then make Dion happy.
I seen him put a few licks down. He brings
He
it
can
when,
hit.
when he hits. He brings it, man.
He's a good
He
hitter.
definitely brings it.
I do like Hickman from Ohio State. He's on our team. I'd like to see if he develops well. I would like to see. I mean, we have some young guys at safety that I think we can add to this team. Hopefully, we'll see how that works out. Either way, Barry needs to be drafting some good guys here, because I think this year, if he doesn't pan out to where they're pretty good, then.
One thing I didn't put on the notes that I want to talk to all you guys about is Kevin Stefanski already said he's going to be calling the plays this year. Is anybody against that, or are we all for it, considering the turnout of last year?
I think I'm for it. I think he's a good offensive mind. When I hear like Kevin's going to be calling plays, I don't think Kevin's not. I think they're coaches that have schemes and they run their own scheme. I think Kevin's open-minded enough to hear from Tommy Rees and to hear from the other offensive guys and apply their input to what he wants to do. So I think he's open-minded enough to be like, Tommy Rees, you're good at this. What can we do to highlight this area and his strength, whatever quarterback it is, whatever talent it is? We're a running back. What's it? Deuce. What does this running back do good? How can we change it? Certain schemes up. What can we call that highlight his strengths? And I think that's what we were missing last year. The confusion of Dorsey's offense trying to mesh with Kevin's offense was just like oil and water. I've said that all year.
Yeah.
You know, you have Dorsey, who's not a good run action or play action guy, who's shotgun guy trying to mix with the play action guy from under center. Just doesn't make sense.
I don't have a problem with Kevin going back to doing the play calling, but we do have to have that other entity up in that booth with the eagle eye looking down.
Yeah, I agree.
You have to have a guy up in the booth,
right?
So if Kevin's down there and he's not seeing nothing, he's got somebody in his earpiece going, "Hey, Kevin, I'm seeing what they're doing. They're bringing this corner in on a blitz on every third down because we know whatever the case scenario may be." But if you don't have that guy up in the booth looking down, I mean, why don't you? That should almost be a staple. You need that guy looking down that can see the chessboard.
I'm going to die on this horse because I called it last year and I said, you guys need to get your ass up in the booth and watch from the, like you said, the bird's eye view. And what happened the next game?
It happened.
Dorsey was up in the booth.
Dorothy was up in the booth and Kevin was calling plays. Kevin had input on plays, which is different. But yeah, I agree. I think Tommy should be in the booth. And I think he can add insight, right? Like, hey, this guy's getting open 10 yards downfield. This guy's open a couple yards downfield. Can we
Brown stickers too, bro.
Can we open up this guy's opportunity? You know what I mean? So yeah, I think having the guy up high, you can adjust accordingly to what the game calls for. Whether the defense is shadowing one way as opposed to another way. But I think having Kevin call plays is a great idea. He did well. He's a top 10 offensive play caller when Baker was there. People loved it. Now they're crying for Baker to come back. Well, they're like, Baker should come back. Well, Kevin was part of that. So you can't have Baker without having Kevin call plays at the same time, in my opinion.
So when I asked about Kevin Stefanski, I looked right at Adam and he had his eyes shut. It's like, did the sad face emoji thing. What do you got to say, Adam?
I'm not a fan of Stefanski calling the plays because, I don't know, just some of the dumb play calls, like, 3rd and 13 or 3rd and 8, you're doing little 2-yard dump offs and shit like that. But the biggest thing that bothered me was Nick Chubb's running his ass off when he was healthy, getting 5.5 yards a carry in the first half. You go into halftime, and then you change the game plan, and he gets 2 carries the whole second half. Like, that shit's got to stop. You can't, you can't just pass the ball 50 times a game and expect to win.
I agree. We actually did a story on
if you look back when Kevin was here, while Baker was here, statistically, the run pass was even.
Yeah, but once Baker left, it wasn't.
Yeah, so it may have been run first half, maybe the timing of it, of calling the run needs to improve. Because you can run heavy in the first, but you need to run heavier in the second because that's when you need to run the time
Well,
timeout.
But then there'd be times where, like,
Yeah.
you know, we're down a touchdown or something, and we're getting good yards on the run game, and then he calls like 3 straight passes, and we got a punt.
Yeah. True. A lot of people complain about like the 4th and 1 not running the ball, but the NFL is running away from, literally, no pun intended, running away from running the ball in short fields. A lot more teams are throwing that short hook or short pattern, hook pattern, whatever they call that thing.
Slant.
Post, yeah, slant, post, pattern plays. And I don't understand why we're not the only team that can do it, but why can't we throw a...
You would think with more.
Yeah.
I always would think
Why
like in
can't
that
we-
type of situation,
Yeah.
that would be like a lock play for him. It's already his. All right, it's the more play. Okay, it's that slant. If you're
Yeah,
open, if them linebackers are backing up, and you can just get underneath that little bit, hit them with it, man. Hit them with it.
Yeah, I don't understand why. Every other team is good. Like you can throw 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage and they'll get 50, right?
I'd rather see them run the ball. I'd rather see them try to throw a slant or do something rather than a tush push. I'm so tired of that crap too. That's part of the game, but I don't know. I don't even want to get into that right
It
now.
might not be if the Packers get their way.
Right?
Well-
They're talking about banning the tush push. That'll drown the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, the only thing I see with that is sometimes you'll see a ball carrier. He's getting close to the end zone, and then you'll see like 4 linemen start pushing him forward. Now, there's talks if you can't do it with the quarterback, they might take that aspect out of the game, which I don't agree with. I just don't like the pushing from the back with the quarterback angle of that.
See, Ron says, just my opinion. I feel the head coach is a general and needs to really focus on the intricacies of the game, time decision, real-time moves, game clock management. The group as a whole should have a solid game plan and let the OC call the game as it comes to him from seeing from the eye in the sky. Yes, use Kevin for input, but let the OC be the OC.
Can
But
we put
you
Kevin
hired-
up in the booth?
You who, Kevin?
Yeah, can we put him in the booth?
No, he won't be in the booth.
But,
How do you think that would work out?
huh?
I don't see Kevin Stefanski sitting in a booth.
No, I don't.
No.
I don't.
He
And
needs to see
wouldn't-
better. He can't see shit on the field, apparently.
I wouldn't want that. I think you hired Kevin because he was a good player caller in Minnesota, and that's who he is. I think he's a good play caller. I don't know what I'm just going to stand. I'm going to die on this hill right now. I don't understand the hate behind the Kevin calling plays. He's called good plays. He had a running record outside of last year calling plays. He has 1 or 2 plays a game that I agree with Adam, where you're like, what are you doing, bro? But I think most head coaches that do that, if we were following Kansas City, we would say the same thing. If we were following the Rams, we would say the same thing. I don't agree with, if you're a good head coach that can call plays, you let him call plays. I think Tommy Rees could be a transition. I would let Kevin call plays.
Well, here's
Just let him call. I have no problem with that.
I don't
He's a winner calling plays. They had a top 10 D offense. When Flacco was slinging the ball, were we crying that Kevin was calling plays? Yes or no?
He made it work with 4 or 5 different quarterbacks.
Was he? No, we weren't. We were saying Flacco's amazing, but we weren't saying, well, Kevin's calling good plays here.
Right. They
Kevin's
weren't.
calling-
You're all right on
We
that.
only said Kevin's a horrible play caller when one quarterback was on the field and he wasn't executing, right? So you get a quarterback that executes, get Kevin his guy, which it seems like he is this year, right? And then watch him execute, and the whole Kevin offensive play calling is going to slowly fade away. I'm telling you, Kevin is a great play caller. Let him execute. I do at times think he gets in his own head, maybe analytically,
Well, can we stop the tight end screen bullshit? I don't know if that was him or Dorsey, but
but it works in the NFL.
But not
It's
for
just
us.
not here.
Yeah,
For
right.
some
not
reason,
for
it
us.
just doesn't. We're the only team in
Or
the NFL that does.
Adam, the one that gets
Jacksonville can execute it, but
Right.
we can't. It's
the,
like,
the,
why?
the wide receiver screen pass gets beat every time.
Hate
Adam.
Hate it.
I'm ready to throw a brick through the TV
Well, yeah,
set.
you're throwing the
It
ball
don't
5
work
yards
here.
behind
I
the line
agree.
of scrimmage.
Yeah, it doesn't work here.
I agree.
It kills me.
That
I'm
doesn't
like,
work here.
why
I
are
agree.
you doing? And they keep doing it. I'm like, all right, you've done it 10 times. It's never worked. When are you going to do it? 11, 12? When are you going to learn, man?
I agree. I don't understand why it doesn't work here. I don't understand. It's like it works everywhere else outside of the scope of the NFL, but as soon as it comes into Cleveland playbook, it's like a force field.
Right.
It's not going to execute here,
Well, I'll
guys.
tell you what. Every time I play Madden, I don't choose the Browns playbook.
I'll take you guys back. This used to be.
Man.
I'll take you guys back. I'm a big fan. One of my favorite running backs was Eric Metcalf. I love me some Eric Metcalf, and we utilized him on certain run plays. But what happened? They kept doing the old. Everybody got tired of it because they kept running it. It's kind of the same thing we're talking on these scheme plays. Was the Eric Metcalf up the middle? Once the league figured out Eric Metcalf, that didn't work. But for some reason, the Browns would keep pounding Eric Metcalf up the middle for no gains, man. And it used to tear me up. Like as a younger man watching football, I'm like, why are you still running that doo-doo play, man? Like, knock it off, you know.
Hopefully, we learned our lesson. That's
Ron, it has worked. He said it doesn't work because his timing is off. It worked when he had a quarterback slinging the ball. We weren't complaining about his play calling when Flacco was slinging, throwing touchdowns, going into the playoff. We were like, this is amazing. It does work.
Yeah, pick sixes were different.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, you got to kill that. That's not Kevin's fault. It's not Kevin's fault that the pick sixes happened. But
well, it wasn't Ken Dorsey's fault that
it was his fault. I'm blaming Ken Dorsey every time.
Listen, it is not
I'm not blaming
Ken Dorsey's fault that Allen threw all those interceptions.
Boys want some stickers?
That's true.
Grab you some stickers, bud.
But
Killer.
What's up, guys?
that's true.
Stickers,
I can't
bud.
argue.
That dude is rocking.
I'm trying to find a good
Just what?
angle to go there for argument, but I can't
It's
argue
a
that.
little Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Adam said that.
That is awesome.
I would-
Heck yeah, it is.
Did the camera? That camera got him right there.
Yeah,
Perfect.
he was
The
in
camera
there.
did get him. We're on
Hold
the
up.
Go
Go Browns!
Sam's barking at people.
Listen, I think we
Say bye to my sons real quick. I'll be
I
right
agree to disagree, Ron, because I think Kevin is going to show you guys that he's a good play caller. I think it's going to work well once he gets a quarterback. I you know what? I'm going to even say I think Kenny Pickett would be pretty decent if he plays, because I think Kevin is he favors the quarterback as long as they play within his system. You give him a player that doesn't play within the system, he's going to look horrible, just like any coach. Technically.
So listen, after hearing Kenny's press conference, I think that he's going to show a ton of possibility from the way he was talking. But talking and actually playing is one thing. I just hope I don't see that play again where he throws the ball but doesn't, and almost does a cartwheel on the field, like, and then just fumbles the ball. Like, dude, come on, you can't do that, dude. Please, just be smart with the ball.
He has small hands.
He has the capability to do so. I'm not mad about the Kenny Pickett thing. I'll be mad if that's all we get.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
We have to have more in that room.
Yeah, I get that. We'll definitely have to have more. You can't just
I
have
don't
Kenny
wanna
Pickett and a rookie.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't want to see a whole season of Junior Whopper hands.
Junior Whopper. I mean, it might work out to where it works, but we'll see. I do think that having the guy in the booth is better because he can relay adjustments down the field, and maybe his input would be. I do like Tommy Reese, and I do think there's a opportunity if he doesn't work out, Kevin, meaning that Tommy Reese can be your next up and coming offensive guy. So you have a win-win there. But we'll see, man. We have another year or two. I think they're going to give him 2 years. This regime another 2 years, especially if they draft their quarterback. You can give him a year or two.
Another point you can bring up with the Tommy Reese thing is we talked about it in several shows. Could that possibly mean that Milroe's coming here because of the Alabama ties?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be too upset if Milroe's now, depending on where they draft him. I know that's hypocritical, as I say, if you Dart's your guy, because I think Dart has better now winning now scheme. I think you have to be patient with Milroe, and I don't think this organization. Well, the organization may have patience, but this fan base don't have patience. As soon as Pickett or whoever's starting the quarterback starts to throw picks, they're going to be like, we need Milroe in. It's like, dude's not ready. Like, it's week 2. You guys are calling for the freaking, we do this every year. Like, and then we blame the organization. Why is the organization starting this guy? Because you guys are crying for him.
Well, the Browns have a problem with the Browns fan base has a problem for falling in love with the backup quarterback.
Yeah.
We've been doing it since '99.
Yeah, 100%. Let the guy develop. Most teams they're like, oh, why can't we have Jordan Love or why can't we have Pat? Because the guys just let them develop. for 16, 10 games, 11 games.
We're-
And whenever they feel like they're ready, that's when they put them on there. Like, our fan base should not dictate whether this guy or organization starts a quarterback.
Wow, Adam really does have friends.
Adam just shook that
anyway.
guy's hand.
That is Brian
That is
Jones.
P.O.?
Jones Bones.
Oh, I thought that was your PO. I didn't.
No. Never been in jail, thank you.
Oh, then you're not American now, are you?
Let's see your card,
That's the
bro.
most un-American thing I've ever heard.
I've never been in jail.
Not
Oh.
No, that's not
you
an
guys-
argument. I am half Hispanic, so
You guys
that
are
makes
missing
you
out, man.
wonder
That's-
why.
I say it's un-American. You ain't got a couple
Maybe I'm
DUIs
not
and been
in-
in jail once or
Maybe I'm
twice.
not
You
in
ain't
jail 'cause
American.
I'm trying
Only
to
half of Angel's been in jail.
I haven't. Even though I'm half Hispanic, I have not been in jail. Interesting fact from one of your Bearded Browns hosts.
I've never been in jail. I've never been in handcuffs.
Never been handcuffs.
No,
Never been in trouble.
Well,
Yeah.
We got
Maybe-
two halves of a whole idiot up here.
Yeah, maybe part of it is because I don't look Hispanic, so that favors me a little bit. But
Mike was in handcuffs and the gerbils were getting funny with him.
man, the show got out of control today.
out of hand.
You invited me to the party. How you doing, buddy?
This sponsored by Crohn's.
This is sponsored by
Crohn's. Medicine for Crohn's.
Seek Stellara.
There you
Is that
go.
what it is?
Yes.
Is
I,
that what it is?
I take a shot in my stomach every 3 months.
Ooh.
I give it to myself. 'Cause I'm a,
Just like you did that.
be a man. Jam a needle in your gut. Save your Crohn.
Wow. James says, do you think this fan base, this would be the year our fan base will unite? No. No such thing as a united fan base anywhere.
No.
Look at Pittsburgh. Some people like Tomlin, some people don't. Look at Kansas City. I'm sure they have something to complain about because they win championships and still are spoiled. Look at Philadelphia. They just won a Super Bowl, and next year they're going to want to fire their coach.
No matter
mean,
what
every
happens,
fan
we're always going to have the delusional Browns fans.
Yeah, every
Always.
fan base has a disgruntled fan base, regardless.
You can
of what happens.
you can shine it up,
So
pull
we
that
would not
ride
be
out,
reunited.
pull that ride
give
up,
you an
shine it out. Drop the hammer down on that nice car. A lot of nice cars out here, by the way. And there'll be one delusional Browns fan that'll go, well, that his caps for his tires don't match the rim. It's like, shut the fuck up. So tired of that delusional crap.
Oh man, you got too much nitrogen in those
Yeah.
tires.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a real nice '69 Corvette Stingray right now. But why would they? It's a white car. Why would he put almond-colored
Seats in there.
tire spinners on them or something? Get the hell out of here! It's a mint car. Shut up, man.
Yeah,
Love your
man.
Browns.
Yeah, love your Browns. I'll give you an example. Let's talk about this. 57% of the fan base does not want to move out of downtown. We are actually, before we went on, a fan came up to us, a Browns fan, not a Bearded Browns fan yet. He came up and said, "Hey, quick question: out of downtown or in downtown?"
Out.
I think he was an in downtown guy until we changed his mind because he said,
Yeah.
"Good point."
Yeah.
Well, I
yes.
told him that you can legitimately throw a rock into Cleveland from. Oh, what's up, dude?
I want to shake your hand,
What's up, man? How you doing?
even though you went to him. Mike's seeing all the
That's my buddy
handshakes.
AJ.
Oh, that's
Oh,
all.
Mike's got friends.
Damn
my
it.
hands-
Hey, damn it. AJ, thanks, buddy.
I'm
You walked
popular.
right up, like perfect timing, dude. That
I'm
was
popular.
perfect. Damn it. Anyways, before I was rudely interrupted by Adam again,
First and
what
last
were we
time
even
allowed on
talking
the show.
about now?
Talking about the stadium.
Oh yeah, the stadium. So literally, guys, for everybody that is in an uproar about having the stadium outside of Cleveland, you could legitimately throw a rock into Cleveland from where the new stadium will be at.
Hey, we're right behind it.
Not only that, yeah,
Literally.
we're
Literally
here,
right
we're
behind
here
it right now at the IX Center. It's
But
right
not only
behind it.
that land still technically, what at one point was Cleveland. They annexed that land to Brook Park. It is literally right next to the airport. Why don't you guys want bigger and better things? As Angel would say, I don't want my beard frozen to my beard when I take a sip. I don't want to be out here in freezing sub below.
It's crazy to me that 57% of the fan base doesn't want to move out of downtown, but I guarantee you 50% of those do not go downtown
They
when the
don't.
Browns have a losing record.
Yeah, they're
I
on the
guarantee
couch.
it.
I
I guarantee
they
you
don't even go
Out
that
of those-
fan base is like, I'm not going down there. They suck.
Out
Then
of the-
why keep it? At least go
We
to
need
Brook
to
Park.
get away from the mistake in the lake mantra.
Yeah,
Yes.
those out of those people, what did you say? It was 50%
Do
that want
mistakes
to
by
keep
the airport instead.
Yeah.
How many? What was the percentage on people that say they want
57.
that want to keep it downtown?
Yeah.
Yes.
And half those. Well, I better watch my mouth. Half those people are just sitting on their couches, and that's how they're watching games. You're not going down to the game. You're not worried about the park and the drive-in. So shut
They're
up.
just like the Michigan.
Build a
Wolverines
dome.
or-
I'm going to go off there in a
the
minute.
championship.
Build the dome. Move it to Brook. Move it out. Move it to Brook Park over there.
0-4.
Be done with it.
Don't
That
care.
cursed land has brought you nothing.
Oh, Sam's got people like
It's
Nothing.
cursed land.
He's like, why is
It
that
has
guy
brought-
yelling?
It has brought you nothing.
dude.
Quit
Sam's
crying.
echoing.
Quit crying and get out of
He's
there.
so loud and passionate, it echoes.
It pisses me off, man.
His passion is real.
Wouldn't you like to have a nice new facility? And for some of these players that will still be here, can be built by 2028, 2029, that can still be here playing for you in a nice dome and open the area up, and you get off the cursed land that's never got you anything and get you into something that might get you somewhere.
Right?
Build a dome, they will come, and the Super Bowl will come.
I'm not going to sit here and just dog the old stadium.
I'm not dogging the tradition of it and,
Right.
and stuff like that, but it's not working. It's time
been-
to get. It's time for new, fresh new. Let's go.
That's 2 friends for Adam.
Three.
Anyways,
Three, bitch. Three.
three friends. Anyways, he's
That's
waving
that-
at again
nah.
to make him look like 4.
He got 5 now.
The wife didn't.
Because the dad was like, look, go wave hi to Adam now before you're grounded. And the kids were like, hey, I don't want to be grounded.
That guy don't count, Adam. That person didn't count. It was got a guy walking with a cane and
I think one
and a
just
circus
waved by.
dog.
One waved to Adam
I don't
because he
think he's
thought
seen
Adam was waving to him. It's that awkward wave, like, I don't know you,
Adam's
bro.
just starting to raise
That's my old
random people. But
Yeah.
listen, so this year I went to a game, and I had my neighbor gave me 4 tickets, and I took a couple of my friends. We had club seats, and I'm not going to sit there and bash those club seats, man, because those were comfortable seats. You had like your own dining area where you didn't have to wait in a huge line. Stuff was a little bit cheaper, but I did go to the preseason Vikings game, and I was sitting up in the nosebleeds. And up in the nosebleeds, if I have ever been in jail, that's what I would imagine it to be like. The nosebleeds sucked. There was nothing there. I had to deal with a bunch of assholes. I left because the fans just sucked up there, dude. It's like you were given these tickets clearly. You're not even a Browns fan. You're not wearing Brown stuff. You suck. You're just here to eat a hot dog. I don't know why I referenced a hot dog right away, but
You're here to eat the hot dog, not the nacho.
yeah. So being
County
down-
jail wasn't that bad, Mike. It wasn't.
being county jail is like being up in the nosebleed
Yeah,
seats.
county jail wasn't that bad. I
Send
learned.
the link to chat.
I met some of the best rappers there and some of the
I'm
best
not
break
getting
hooks.
any texts.
Uh,
Tell me, ask me for, send that to here. What's that? Here, can you send me that
so yeah, my take on this whole ordeal is like,
copy email?
why are we even arguing? Like, why do we not want nice things on in Cleveland like that?
Are we allowed to have nice things?
Yeah, this goes far beyond just
We can't. We are allowed to have nice
Well,
things.
let's take the Browns aspect out of it, and let's bring in everything else that we could get to come to Cleveland in that same venue.
money in the same venue.
Final Four,
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
It definitely opens the doors for a lot all year round events, man.
Yeah, so that's an avenue which I agree with. Also, too, like the stadium is just old. Like I don't know if you guys saw the news report, I think a month ago, where the team was graded based upon the athletes that played for the team, and one of the lowest grades of the organization came from the Cleveland Browns, and part of it was the locker room was a D. Players rated your locker room a D because there's nothing to upgrade. You can't upgrade that old toilet anymore.
D for dump.
You can't move a wall and add space. You can't do anything newer to what's already been done to that stadium. It's maxed out.
I'm a Cleveland boy. I was born and raised in Cleveland, and it was always outside football. That stadium. I mean, I even went to the old Municipal for games back in the day. But me as a Browns fan now, I'm ready for some new, fresh starts, and I think that happens with that dome being built and moved out. Another thing with where the location is of the stadium that we already have, you don't have 4 points of direction because you got a big lake in front of you. All right, so now you're right. You move that 15 miles out of downtown. It's not too far, everybody. Relax. You still get in your car. It's gonna be easier to get to, and you're by all circuits of highway, 90, 71, 77, Turnpike. Airport is the back door. I mean, come on, y'all. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, James even said the new stadium would dump money in Ohio. They had the NCAA here this past couple weeks ago. The women NCAA was here. The MAC tournament was here. I mean, that can open up another avenue of football. SEC or Ohio State can play there. Big Ten championship. There's so many things that can happen at that stadium outside of what's currently happening.
You could probably get the new football playoff format for one of the championship games, or like even a semifinal or something.
Exactly. So there's so much pluses. I just don't understand how 57% of Ohioans don't like this idea. It's bizarre.
I don't know. I want to see that. Give a little bit more time. I want to see.
Like to see the age demographic, because I wonder if it's the older traditional.
Did that come out right away, and everybody was still on the old stuff?
No, it just came out this week.
Just came out this week. I find that hard to believe.
57% of local fans want the stadium to stay downtown.
Right.
Whether that's in a different area downtown, or whether that's at the current position or current area, that's not known. But at the same time, they tried for years to try to get the lakefront. Mayors before Mayor Bibb, even Mayor Bibb now, all of a sudden now he wants to kind of work out a deal. Because he realized, like, I'm going to lose out a lot of money. Yeah, you thought the Browns were playing games, and then Haslam was like, nope, we're not playing games. And he showed you that I'm a businessman. I'm going to make a business decision, and we're moving out of downtown. Also, too, I mean, he wants the parking revenue. That's where they make their money at, as owners.
Well, the thing, too, is if they get that stadium out there, Angel, Cleveland can still develop it for other things. You're still going to make money on the land over there. You might be able to actually utilize it better and to your benefit than have a stadium there. As crazy as that sounds.
And a lot of the money's going to come from outside people that come in.
Right.
A lot of events come in, a lot of rental car. Like, who in Ohio locally does rents a car? Nobody.
And it's a 1%.
Yeah, and who can listen? I went to Disney, and I took an Uber. Do you know how many taxes are on that Uber? Like 5.
Wow.
There's a local tax, obviously, and then there's a rider tax, and there's an event tax for people that come out of town to use that platform at the airport. So there's an airport tax. So people, guys, believe it or not, other states tax people that visit them. That's okay. There's a reason why they're visiting you. People want to go there. Tax them. People want to come here.
We put tariffs on Florida.
Yes.
Make it make money, man.
Yes.
Make it make money.
So let's tax them a little 1% on the hotel stay. They're paying for not us. Let's tax them and enjoy the benefit of it.
I mean, I could just imagine, man, going down to a whole new facility like that down there. Nice dome, everything like that.
Not only that, what's going to be around
you quit acting like you know him, Mike.
Mike saying hi.
I hide my friends.
Mike
from Adam.
Mike's like, that guy looks like a Sam.
I will be right back.
Hi, Sam. You got lucky.
I'll be right back, gents. I can't hold this no more. My teeth. No. Yeah. You guys are the ones keep bringing it up. I actually got to go pee. I'll be right back.
All right. He's going to leave. While he leaves, I'm going to talk to you about another sponsor there. We have Doug White from Allstate Insurance. He is located in beautiful Olmsted Falls, Ohio. Get a hold of Doug White, Allstate Insurance. He's good. You're good in his hands. He does good quotes. Speaking of diarrhea, which is why he's leaving, James said D is for diarrhea. And on cue, Sam leaves. But nonetheless, shout out to Doug White from Allstate Insurance. Give him a call. Let him know the Bearded Brown sent you, and let's see if he can save you money. On average, people save $500 in switching insurance companies a year. So maybe he can save you some money, and then you can use that buying Browns tickets in a new stadium whenever they decide to make it.
And maybe the Haslams will have the new stadium insured by Allstate, Doug White, as well.
Mike looks like a kingpin answering the phone with the headphones on. Jen, who is right next to me, says, I think fans can make it make sense, but we do need something new to bring in the change that are coming in the team. Give fans something worthwhile. Yeah, can we be sad but yet be proud of a dome in which we can be sat in when our team loses.
That's gonna build morale, man. A new stadium. These guys, a lot of these guys are Southern guys now too. They don't come from Alaska, They don't want to play
SEC, Southern players.
Yeah. There was one guy, Jameis Winston, that was happy to play in a snow game in Cleveland
because that was his first time really seeing snow.
Yes. So
I will miss his interviews though.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna miss his pregame speeches.
Yeah.
He was the one that got the team hyped up. It was never Deshaun Watson. Even when Deshaun Watson was playing, it was still Jameis Winston out there making the team hyped in the beginning. So we're going to have Chad on here shortly.
Yeah, we're trying to get Chad, and that's what we're communicating back and forth. Hopefully he'll be on.
I sent it to Dave.
I just got it too.
I'm
trying to work it out.
Oh, you're good. But yeah.
Chad said, I prefer not to be in 30 layers while watching a game. Makes it easier to pee, which is true. Because if you have to go to the bathroom, you have to peel out layers because it's a cold game. Like, that time has passed, man. It's time to grow up. It like the whole tradition, snow game, all that. It's fun in theory, but going down there like a typical fan who's like just going just to go doesn't like those games. They want to go because it's a nice weather game and they want to drink a couple beers, but they can't drink a beer if it's frozen.
And
they can't eat a hot dog if it's frozen.
I don't mind going to a bad weather game.
Can you imagine dipping your nachos in hard cheese?
Yes, if I'm drunk enough.
It's like an ice cream cone. Licking nacho cheese.
What do you call cheese that's not yours, Angel?
Nacho cheese.
That joke is still funny. Even Adam's laughing.
Jed's like, I can't get on. This weather out here is so nice in my backyard. Sorry, I can't log in.
Yeah, Chad is in California for you guys that are new to the show. He's in California just soaking up the sun, and it's 3 hours earlier. So
we're trying to get him on. Hopefully, I can effort him on. We got another half hour of the show, which is beautiful here at the Accent. If you have not made it out yet, I don't know how the weather is outside, but it is beautiful in here. A lot of wonderful people walking around looking at beautiful cars, rims. There's a lot of vendors here. You can get stuff for your car, your cars, your hot rod, whatever.
There's a lot of awesome cars here.
There is a lot of different cars here. It is beautiful here. A lot of beautiful beards here too. I think Ohio should be known for their beard game.
Yeah, don't be like Adam and just grow a weird goatee. Grow a full beard like Shane. He's not even laughing. He's looking at me with his hand over his face. He's like,
I can't grow one.
Wait till the end of the show.
My job won't let me. That's people's excuses. Like, my job won't let me. Come on, man up. Do you really need a job? Do you
Adam,
really need pay?
Does your job not allow you to have a beard?
I just can't grow, and I'm follically challenged. I can't help it.
Hey,
Sam's
Beard
follically
Gains Beard
challenged.
Oil will help you grow a beard. Go to beardgains.com. Use Bearded Browns at promo. Save 10%.
Yeah.
What did I miss?
Speaking of which,
I'm back.
Follically challenged.
Speaking of growing beards, or not being able to, how you doing, Sam? How was your bathroom?
It was nice, man. It's getting busy in there. It's like waiting for a ride at Cedar Point right now.
Oh,
Well, everybody's drinking. So.
I mugged a few kids, pushed them out of the way.
Did you give him a bearded brown?
I gave him the old school. Remember old school Will Ferrell when he got hit with a tranquilizer dart and he was going to the pool.
He's like, I'm a local celebrity. Watch out, I go pee.
Yeah, don't you see? Don't you know?
He moved a kid while peeing at the same time, which is shouldn't be saying online because that's weird. But
in the line to the bathroom, I was mugging kids up.
Yeah, he was like,
Adam's like, how are these guys still on the show?
we still get a following. I don't know.
Yeah, I had a cup of coffee this morning, like 4 waters, man. I gotta
First and last live on Red Line Network.
Yes.
Yeah, first and last.
Sorry, it was a good run.
It was
a good
yeah,
run.
Exactly.
Wow,
I was gonna say
lasted.
the exact same thing.
Come out to the IX Center. You still got time to see these cars. You still got a half hour to come see the booth, say hi to us, take some stickers.
What the hell are we talking?
Chad's like, what are you guys talking about? Poop, Chad. Come on, you know the routine. We talk about poop. We talk about poop every week, Chad. Come on. It's a Saturday. This is not a Tuesday show where it needs to be stats and facts. We talk about poops and boots. That's it.
And then the Browns.
And then
maybe a little
Browns.
Browns.
And Browns.
Honestly, what are you guys looking forward to most this year for the Cleveland Browns to do? Anybody?
Not drafted Dual Carter.
You said
really?
not drafted?
Not drafting. Really?
No,
Why? Wow. Hot take. Hot take. Why not?
I see a lot of, we'll call him Courtney Arrington. I see a lot of combination of the both, LeVar and Courtney Brown, and then I think the injuries are holding me back. You know, it was a shoulder injury against Notre Dame. Then coming into the combine, it was his foot. I just don't like the idea of, you know, him having, you know, these injuries coming into the season. I just think he's going to be a bust.
A bust.
He said.
I mean, anything's possible.
Abdul's a bust. My argument with the injury thing, I think we talked about this earlier, was like Miles plays hurt every year. Every year, Miles gets hurt. There's some type of nagging injury Miles is dealing with, but yet he still plays through it. I think Abdul can be that person to play through injuries if he does. I'm a little worried about his size. He is slim for an edge rusher. But here's the good news about Abdul. If he does not work as an edge rusher, he has played middle linebacker in Penn State. So you can move him in the middle. He had done coverage. He was a coverage linebacker that also rushed the quarterback. So he does have versatility. So maybe from that perspective, getting him at number 2, and you can add another layer of play in his repertoire, maybe that can add value to his pick.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to a new chapter. Hopefully getting rid of what was dysfunctional last year, which was the scheme, and getting back to what we knew worked best is what I look forward to, which is wide zone, run first, or run half the time, and then set up play action is what I'm looking forward to, because I think that's where Kevin excels, and that's where I thought we excelled at when Baker was here in general.
Yeah, that, and I think us not telling. Remember the stats show that we had where we talked about how much Kevin Stefanski ran and passed between him and Dorsey?
Yeah,
it was like
huge.
a 30% difference.
Yeah.
If you go out there and tell everybody you're going to be passing the ball, that's your main focus. You just don't do that. You got to tell these guys, like, hey, man, look out for what's going to happen, because you never know. Is it not working?
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with the new Kevin offense. Well, same Kevin offense, which is weird, but new compared to last year. Run pass differential in 2024. I'm just trying to see where Cleveland was ranked. Cleveland, 37% run, 62% pass last year. Bottom of the league. Bottom 2, Cincinnati was dead last, and we were second to dead last in the league, unfortunately. The best pass run ratio was the Philadelphia Eagles. They had a 58% run and 41% pass, and they won the Super Bowl. You need to have a high flying offense in order to win the Super Bowl. Just got out the window with Philadelphia last year with that 58 running the times, 58% of the time. And that comes from having a good running back like Saquon Barkley, and obviously the tush push has a huge part of that, and having a quarterback who can run the ball and hurts, has the ability at least to run the ball. Baltimore was number 2, by the way. Pittsburgh, top 5 in the run first, pass second. All these teams are winners, by the way. All the teams besides, Detroit, top 5. Indy didn't make it. Buffalo, Chargers, Atlanta, San Francisco, top 10. So obviously run first, pass second should be ideal.
You have to, especially in this league, especially if the offensive line goes back to what we were doing last year. Everything should work in our favor with running the ball.
100% agree.
Like I said, I want to see more of them offensive linemen getting out there and them swing blocks, man. I want to see more of that outside stuff. We can do it. We've got the same guys. Implement it again. It worked. Like I said, it worked before. Let's run it again.
So you think the problem with outside of just the injuries that hurt us last year, because I do think Andrew Berry undersold the injuries in the beginning of the year. I think he thought they were going to be healthy.
Absolutely. Our offensive line guys, I think they were already having problems. They were banged up in training camp.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that bled into the season. And them first 2-3 games, we said, what happened to those guys? And what happened to them was they were banged up and hurt already before the season started.
Yeah, it was telling to see how much pass rush Dallas got because we thought, man, Dallas is going to have a great defense. And then as the season went on, their defense was just okay. But when they played us, their pass rush, they were getting in Watson's face quick.
Yeah, it was like just the doors were open. They're like, get him. I was like, wow, the guy's got no time to. I was still sticking up for Watson at that time. I said, he's got no time to throw the ball. What do you want the guy to do? These guys are not blocking. They're not getting off fast enough. And these guys are just running through them, man. It's crazy. You know, I'm thinking too, man, we tried that. We got Mike Bloomgreen now. I mean, it's another new guy we bring to the table here on the line. Maybe that is a piece that they needed to have to help them guys out and to get to where they want to be. And like I said, this offensive line is going to be night and day because now they're going to be healthy. They're going to be more healthy. So.
Yeah. I think having them healthy and then getting depth that we talked about earlier, the 2 offensive tackles, helps. I would just like to see maybe one good, solid starter. Maybe Zinter could be that guy that we're not talking about right now because he was injured last year. Maybe he can help solidify the depth. Was Zinter originally a center?
No, he's able to play guard and center.
Okay. So yeah, I think. What about you? What are you excited for, Mike?
I am excited for just a subpar team right now. Honestly, like I said earlier, I'm not going to get my hopes up and think that we're going to do something big with a drafted quarterback and possibly a drafted running back right off the rip. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen at camp. I'm just going to go into the season with almost little to no hope and hope that they could turn it around and show us something else. Because
my big hope is 500 ball, get the pieces you need. And this is a process. This is not going to be fixed this season. So Delusional Brown fans out there, relax. We're coming off a 3-win season.
Yep.
You're not going to be jumping right into the we're going to be going Super Bowl. Knock it off. Okay, we still have building to do, and we're building them blocks as we speak now. And it's going to be the next couple of years of that happening, and then we are going to be a contender. I see it all day.
Can we get to the point where we have some coolers locked up again, and if we get 4 wins, we get to open them, and maybe that'll give us some.
Hey, buddy. Hey, I tell you what, them coolers should always be open because you're gonna need a nice cold one watching any of them Browns.
Basically,
games.
What you're saying is a psychological thing. Like we have to lock beer up in order to.
Yeah, right.
It's like we're all alcoholics around here. If you lock up that beer, we'll do anything to win.
You lock up the beer. I'm not even watching football.
Yeah, if you're a Cleveland fan, you are an alcoholic. That goes without saying. I think
that was a huge moment in Browns history.
Yes, it was, man. Yes, it was. I was working in Columbus, and we went to a Browns bar down there, and it was awesome to watch that down there, man. Open them up. Right, Baker came in for was RG3 went down, and that was awesome to see, man.
RG3, that dude wanted to come back this year.
Yeah, okay.
Was it RG? I thought it was Tyrod. It was Tyrod Taylor.
Oh,
right?
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Taylor. Yeah, Tyrod
Taylor.
RG3
had his own podcast now, and he was talking about coming back.
No, he does have his own podcast. I said the guy that went down was Tyrod.
Oh, yeah.
It was an RG3. But, so hopefully we can find somebody to bring that excitement again. I just wish Baker was the Baker he is now here because I think he's more mature and he adds, obviously, value to the team now because he's older. But nonetheless, we are where we are with our quarterback situation. We all know the song and dance, find a quarterback and win.
Yep.
The team took a big shot, or a big swing at Deshaun. They failed miserably. And hopefully one thing that I've learned, the trend they follow is we'll make a mistake, but we won't make that same mistake twice. So hopefully they don't.
I think every team in the league learned a lesson from this transaction that we had with Deshaun.
Yeah,
watch out for that guaranteed money, man. You don't want to be spilling that guaranteed money out.
At the beginning. They said, "See how stupid you are now."
Yep. They've learned. If anything's happened out of that, other teams have learned what not to do.
Which by some odds, the good out of it is he's working his way out of it. Andrew Berry, where he's pushing the money down the line, and people keep on saying it's going to come out from underneath you, and it hasn't yet because he strategically is doing it. I just hate the fact that we had to do it, and we have to suffer a couple of horrible years to get to where we should
Couple,
And we're
half
still
a
doing it.
decade.
Yeah, we're still doing it, man.
Yeah,
It feels like it's
decade.
been a nickel of that, man.
be at. Yeah,
And when it's all said and done, I mean, you're looking at about 4 or 5 years ago, we had to go through that.
it stinks. It stinks as much as it stinks, but hopefully we can reap the benefits.
Is there any likelihood of us getting rid of Deshaun Watson this year or next year?
That be in the Browns uniform? I don't
No,
think so.
he missed a couple words in between come and back and a massage.
Let's hope not. I'm done with that.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh,
I don't
man,
know.
that was rude.
I mean, I
I'm
guess
done with
like if
that.
he's on the roster and you need a quarterback to play, I guess you have to roll the dice because you have to roll the dice. But I don't see him. I don't know. I don't see it happening.
I was hoping not to ever see him in the building again, but here he is
Working out.
rehabbing right now. I'm not all for that at all. And in Browns gear, we brought it up last week where he was in Browns gear
Working out
rehabbing, and
in the facility. Yeah.
just irritates. the hell out of me.
Unfortunately, he's still going to be around for a while because he has to be. He's going to be on that roster because he has to be. We still owe him that money. We still got, 2 years left of this contract and paying him out.
Do you see
Hopefully,
Kevin playing him ever again?
I hope not. I mean, but
I hope they draft a young guy. I don't think they can.
crazier things have happened before.
Yeah,
And let's
yeah.
not forget about the 5 quarterbacks we just had like 2 seasons ago. So who
That's
knows,
true.
you know?
Hey guys, we're losing internet connection here. I don't know if it's the people that are walking in here but we're
Probably.
losing. It's
Yeah.
buffering big time.
Yeah, my phone isn't.
My
even
phone,
working.
actually, Dave, I've seen that. My phone actually went out. Facebook dropped off.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
yep.
I don't know if it's the traffic that's going on in
Interesting.
here.
All right.
My T-Mobile hotspot is working great. Shout out T-Mobile.
What do we got? We got 140. Would you try to wrap this up?
140.
What are we trying to do here?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
we can
do
wrap
that.
it up, guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today here at the Piston Power Show at Jack Center. Also with Redline Network.
Come out here, see the cool cars.
Yes, so come out and see some cool cars. Also, be sure to check out our sponsors, Beard Games. Use our code Bearded Browns at checkout for 10% off. If you order for more than $35, you're free shipping. As well as the Doug White Allstate Insurance Agency over there in beautiful Olmsted Falls. Give them a call for all your insurance needs. They'll take care of you. And until then, we will see you guys Tuesday.
Thanks again, Dave, for having us out here, man. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks,
Redline Network. And the
problem.
boys
We'll do
out here, man, are great hosts, man. You guys are awesome dudes, man.
Yeah, we'll do some more stuff together. Sorry, guys, that the internet's going. I don't know what's going on.
That's all right, buddy.
Center.
All right, guys.
All
The
right.
stadium was by here. We're up better internet.
Yeah.
Go Browns.